Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapache. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for joining us. We are back to our regularly scheduled program, recording on Sunday. It can be Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, but we are recording Sunday evening, which is kind of what we used to do. After quite a nice little weekend we had here, I went to a concert this weekend. I had a little mini staycation, which is kind of cool for anybody out there who listens to reggaeton. Raul Alejandro was the guy that I went to go watch with my chick. It was a pretty damn good show. I gotta say, it was a pretty cool show. It wasn't just the music because I didn't recognize any. I don't like the dude. I don't like the music at all. But he put on a little performance. It was kind of like a musical, basically. He had little segments, Act One, Act Two, and I was like, oh shit, it's pretty entertaining. I don't even know what the hell he's singing about, but it's pretty dope. Very East Side Story-ish kind of like. So definitely put on quite a performance. If he goes to your town, I would definitely recommend checking him out because it was pretty fun. But that is pretty much what my weekend consisted of, in addition to a fantastic UFC card that I watched at Buffalo Wild Wings and some boxing because we're going to be talking about boxing. Not too much boxing going on this weekend, but plenty of stories because quite a bit has happened since our last show, and we're going to be talking about it. Everything from Dimitri Bivol dropping his WBC belt to Canelo considering retirement after his deal with Turkey, amongst other stories, of course. But we're going to start off with the results of Butsenis and Stanionis. But before we get into all of that, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? How's it going, guys? Um, Laid back weekend. Had a party yesterday to go to. Watched the UFC and the boxing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
I didn't take a picture because I was in the middle of like a living room. I didn't want to be all, oh, look at
yeah.
him take a picture of the UFC fight. But yeah, I checked it out. It was cool. Um, then watched the boxing. Today took the kids to the Choctaw. I think that's how you say it. I was trying to get it. I was trying to get the name of the tribe. We went to a state park over here in Northern California. Go check out some Indians that run the Jackson Rancheria Casino. So about 7 miles up from that casino, they have a little state park, and
Mm,
it's the Choctaw.
mm,
Choctaw um, tribe, home of our ancestors
mm,
and land of our present. It's a very cool spot. Real peaceful. Um, had a bunch of like where they house their spiritual house, like a
mm.
I don't want to say a church. I don't know how to say it in the
Well,
right
I
way,
guess
but a
their version of
spiritual
a church.
place, right?
I guess
Yeah.
their version of a church, I suppose.
Yeah. And there was a football field, showed how they played sports back in the day. Yeah, that was
Oh,
pretty cool.
all
Yeah.
right.
And just a real nice area. So yeah, just a laid back day. It was closed. The museum was closed.
Mm.
So the kids kind of had the park to themselves. It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of people there. I think two cars were there when we showed up, and
Mm.
both of them left when we parked. They were like, "Mexicans go!" No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Like, yeah, Trump hasn't taken all of them out. Let's get
He's
them out of here.
Trump
Let's
hasn't.
get them back. Let's get out of here. Let's just come back when they're not here.
Yeah, but no, we did good. We just got home and got ready for the show. That's it.
Did you take your? Do you even have like a Jackson Rancheria mug that you can take to the, or a little something, some sort of like travel coffee mug that you can take to the park and be like, look, y'all, I'm supporting y'all.
No, we did stop for a burger there though. I
Oh,
will. Yeah, we
was it
took the
good?
kids. Yeah, we took the kids in because I love their hamburgers. Margie's Cafe, I think that's what her name is.
Mm-hmm.
She has real good. They do real good hamburgers there. So we
What
took the kids to go eat there.
was it like buffalo or bison or some shit like that? It was just standard, regular.
No, just standard. I hope. Now that you say that, no, I'm just kidding.
Right. Like, I hope they're not shit. It's like, damn, this fucking beef tastes great. Like, yes, sir. It's fantastic. This is our grass-fed beef right here. Like, sure it is, sir. Well, that definitely sounds like a fantastic, nice, chill weekend. This being Sunday, of course, we're all going to return back to work. But before we talk all about that, let's talk about the fights that happened last night, Saturday. On the zone, of course, we kind of briefly went over it last week because unfortunately, this just doesn't is for as important as the fight as it was. It just really wasn't getting the kind of attention we would have liked. I mean, listen, I I went out right this weekend, right? And I was like, well, I'm gonna be down at the strip. I went to T-Mobile for this concert. I'm like, what places are gonna be showing the fights, right? I know they're gonna be showing the UFC fights because they generally do. And I'm like, you guys gonna be showing the boxing fight? Like, no, we're not gonna be showing the boxing fight. Like, what the fuck? So I had to like call 3 or 4 places. No one's doing the closed circuit right kind of thing. I'm like, fucking hell. So I literally had to like nerd it out. I brought my tablet and I put on DAZN on my fucking tablet while I'm watching the UFC on the
Oh
big
yeah,
screen
yeah.
at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, I'm not gonna miss this shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Thankfully, the main event started in the for the boxing. Of course, I'm talking about Boots Ennis and Stanionis started before the main event of the UFC card, so I wasn't like going back and forth necessarily. But we have ourselves a unified champion for the first time since let's see here, Crawford back in August or July of 2023 when he unified it. Well, I should say that was he took 3 belts from Spence. He had 1 belt himself, but I believe that was the last time we had a Ring Magazine like lineal welterweight champion when Spence lost to Crawford. But we talked about it before. The welterweight division is kind of as most weight divisions are. There's cycles, right? Sometimes it's off the hook. Sometimes it kind of sucks. Right now, it kind of sucks. But hey, we got a little bit
It's
more
a
clarity.
division. It's a division that hasn't sucked for a very long time, though.
That's a
This
good one.
is this is a huge drought for the welterweights right now.
It
Yeah.
is. It's to really considered the money weight, as Floyd would call it, right? Anything below heavyweight, frankly, that was where the money was, right? Welterweights. And it might be very soon again, right? Because we know it's going to get to that. So there's a possibility that it'll get there. Whether or not Boots will be in prime position to welcome everybody into the welterweight division at that time is another story, because he did kind of sort of hint towards maybe going up to 154. But regardless, he unified his IBF with Stanionis' WBA championship, and in turn becoming the Ring Magazine and lineal welterweight champion by 6th round. I don't know what they call it, TKO, I guess, or it's just like that. Usually in box rec it says like retired or something, right? Which is he didn't come out for the 7th round.
Right.
Um, but it was pretty dominant. I was thinking, I was hoping that maybe Stanionis would start to like really push it, middle of the fight, and maybe come back at the end, or we'll see something different from Stanionis. But he had no answers, and it was really. He wasn't doing a very good job of cutting the ring off. He landed a few times on Boots, but not enough.
He
Um,
never landed
but
two.
oh, there you go.
He
He never
kept
landed
landing one at a time. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you gotta throw 2 hands. Yeah, that was his biggest problem last night.
Yeah, and ultimately getting dropped in the 6th round by like 4 uppercuts like that back to back to back, right? And he finally took a knee, got back up, and finished the round. But I mean, his nose was busted from the fucking jump. So Boots Ennis went in there and basically mopped the floor, and we kind of thought, you know what, this might be the fight that will kind of show us really how good Boots is. And I mean, damn, he was pretty damn good. You got to give it credit to where he's at, right? I really like the fact that after the fight, he did bring it up. Chris Mannix kind of brought it up to him a little bit, but he said, when I won this IBF belt, I was the interim champion, and it was officially stripped from Crawford. And one morning, I just woke up, and now I'm the IBF welterweight champion, the legit welterweight champion. And he's like, that's not how, I didn't get to fight anybody for it, but in this case, he was able to fight Stanionis for his WBA belt, and he said that felt much better. Obviously, like that's how you want to win it, right? That's we're gonna talk about it a little bit later on with David Benavidez and his WBC belt. But most fighters, they want to fight for the belt, and they want to. It's winning the belt is a portion of the accomplishment, but it's also who you take it from and how you take it. And him just becoming the IBF champion because it was stripped by the IBF decided to strip Crawford. Didn't sit well with him, and he brought it up during the post-fight interview in the ring, and he said, "For this belt, I got to beat Stanionis. I got to beat him for the man." So it was pretty impressive. Definitely an excellent showing by him. Where he goes for here, we'll talk here momentarily. But first off, Andrew, what did you think of his performance? What did you see? Could Stanionis have done anything differently?
Yeah, probably had a little bit more experience. The
Mm,
15-0
okay.
really showed last night.
Mm,
Um, Dominated. Didn't really have any answers. Like I said, was trying to do the little single punch knockout game plan,
mm,
counter punch. Um, Look, Ennis needed this victory. He needed this type of win, right? It was
mm,
a champion. He's undefeated. right? It's a unification match. It gives him the ring title. It all sounds great. It's all great on paper.
Mm.
If he was, if he was upset about not beating anyone for the IBF title, really didn't beat anyone for the WBA too. I'm just being a dick. I'm just being a dick.
Uh,
It's a real bad situation he's in. That's why I don't want him to leave. You got
oh,
to try to score one of these big fights, dude.
mm,
You got to seal the deal at welterweights,
mm.
Stanionis, is that how you say it? Stanionis?
Stanionis.
Stanionis?
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a. Neither of these men had a passing of the torch victory with their
Mm.
belts. Neither of them.
True.
This is a start over, right? This is
Mm.
starting from ground zero.
Yeah, it's a reset basically.
It's a reset. There you go. Yes. So I think it's a must that he tries to land one of the big guys coming up. Haney, Garcia, somebody.
Mm.
Um, I mean, why not go after Ortiz, right? It's not that great of a win, but hey, at least you collected all the belts, right? You were the reset. You are the man now, right? No matter how you got there. But for him to just get these belts, these two belts and the ring belt the way he did and to try to go off into junior middleweight, I think it hurts his legacy a little. It really does. When you go, and I don't know if he's fighting for legacy or money. I really don't know. He's only 27, so he's very young still. That's one thing I
According
like
to
about.
Hearn, he's fighting for legacy. According to Hearn, mind
Well,
you, but that came out of Hearn's mouth.
and that's good. He should be. That's what That's what the drive is supposed to be for legacy. Money's next, but I know it's not always that way. I'm not nothing against them, holding anything against guys like that. Um, but yeah, I really would like to see him seal the deal as being the guy of this era at the welterweights. You unify or get a big fight before you move up. Um, because all that talk about him and Bud is the biggest fight in boxing. No, it's not. Stop it.
Mm.
Last night's performance did not make him the biggest. That's such a PBC move right there. You know what I mean? Like, come on, stop it. The guy was throwing one shot at a time. It was a very easy.
Mm.
When you're the best in the world, and one guy is only fighting with basically a one punch game plan, it's not that hard to shine. And that's what he did. He shined. Let me not talk too bad. He did shine. I like how he walked him down. I like his punch selection, but I stop way short of saying this is the guy that's should be fighting Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford right now is not even a fucking junior middleweight. He's pounds away from that. And people, if he looks good against Canelo, he's staying there.
Yeah.
He's not coming back. And even if he does drop weight, it's probably only be to 160. He's never going back to 154. Not at 30. What is he, 37 or 38 himself?
Mm-hmm.
I
Something
believe
like that.
Crawford. So he's up there in the 30s. I don't see him dropping weight that to come back to fight Ennis when I'm sorry, the ringside seats for that fight will not be $20,000. They just won't.
Mm-hmm.
Ennis would have to have a huge. He'd have to go viral for some reason. You know what I mean? For that fight to get heat like that, but it wasn't from last night. No. Good reset. He's got a good future ahead. I'm hoping that they didn't do this late enough to where he has to move up right away. If he does, as it is what it is. But no, they could really make some money here in that division. He can make some money if he can keep the weight down. He looked big. He's going to be bigger
Mm-hmm.
than Haney and Garcia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a good division for him to keep this momentum going if he can keep the weight down. Yeah.
So even if he does go to 154, I mean, we mentioned Ortiz, right? That's still a pretty big money fight. No, I mean, granted, maybe not as big as Garcia or Haney, but I mean, that's still a pretty big money fight. It's would he? I mean, for the money, is he gonna risk it? Is gonna risk trying to like do his damnedest? Because he's gonna, if he does. His body's at a point where he's going to have to move up to 154 very soon, and he's kind of forcing himself to stay at 147, we could see what happens. We saw what happened with Spence. If what he said is true, he stayed at 147 too long. he can still move up to 154, and they still have. Could he be? I guess what I'm trying to say is he can move up to 154 and still make money. Maybe not the same amount of money, but would that be the offset? Like, all right, I can still make money, and I'm not killing myself. Do I kill myself and make even more money?
He could be the man going to 154 if he was to stay at 147 and clean house,
Mm,
right? And that's by collecting all the belts and maybe dropping the winner of Haney versus Garcia too. So he has 2 fights possibly left at 147. Then you
mm,
go to 154 as the man, because nobody there would have a resume that good if he was to get the all the belts and a win over Haney or Garcia, whoever is to if and this is people, this is a perfect world if May 2nd goes right and
right.
they both win. Um yeah, so I see I'm not a fan of forcing these fights. I can wait. Virgil and Ennis are not old at all. They
Mm,
really aren't. They could wait 2 years to fight and they'll still only be 29. You know what I mean?
sure.
That's one thing about boxing, man. And that's how these fights gain momentum. Why tickets are so high, because we can push this thing out and people are really going to demand the fight. Now, both guys got to win. It's another thing about boxing. It's the only way you're going to get those high ticket prices if you guys both win.
Yeah, you got to keep winning.
Yeah. So I don't think they need to force that
Mm,
fight yet. It's a great fight. We all know it's great. But is it peaked financially for them? Hell no. Hell no.
mm,
So you stay on your side and win. You're only 27. Now, Miguel, I'm all for 27-year-olds taking out 34-year-olds, taking out 37-year-olds, taking out all the old guys.
mm,
Yeah, line them up and drop them. But when you have 2 guys dead in their prime and financially they're not there yet, and the promoters know, all we got to do is make them win, man. This guy's going to be huge over there in California, Texas, America, Mexican Americans. This guy's huge on the East Coast, African Americans, all Americans. But you hear what I'm saying, right?
sure,
They're going to
sure.
bring both sides of their both sides of America will be coming to
Yeah.
watch that fight if they allow it to grow there, right?
Mm, right.
So, so I that's why I don't want him to go up there yet, and I don't believe in Haney and Garcia. I don't want Haney and Garcia to be able to have them sit there at the welterweights and collect checks watching them fight a bunch of B opposition. So I don't believe in them. I really
Mm,
don't. Neither guy. So I kind of want, and Teofimo maybe too small for 147,
mm.
right? It's another fight, Ennis, you just got to keep the weight off, man.
Well, that's
You
what I'm
really
saying, because
do.
like that's kind of I wanted to make a timeline for you. So we got May coming up, right? We have less than a month. We have Garcia and Haney rematch, right? So chances are, I'm not the rematch. I'm sorry, they're fighting other people, and then the rematch in the fall. They said in New York.
Yeah.
So he Ennis has to basically have the whole rest of the year right at 147, which isn't bad because they even talked about it going after Norman, the top ranked WBO welterweight
Oh
champ,
yeah. 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 Yeah.
or
I seen
I
Eddie
mean,
Hearn
I
say
don't
that.
know if you want to go after fucking Mario Barrios, but I mean, there's the 2 other champions in the weight class. So let's say he takes out any one of those around the same time. We're looking at, all right, 2026 now, maybe a fight with Boots and maybe the winner of Garcia and Devin Haney. So we're talking about around this time next year. Um, is that
Yes.
is that
Be-
too
and
much?
and I got the name wrong. I said Ortiz. It's Barrios. Thank you
Oh,
for
Barrios, it
correcting
is.
me on that. The WBC champ obviously is what we were talking about there. Yeah, Barrios would be the fight that they try to nail at the end of the year. So that would be set him up to be the undisputed. Then you have Haney and freaking Ryan in a blockbuster rematch at 147. Kind of sets up Ennis to have a great pay-per-view coming
Yeah.
out party, right? I know the timing isn't right. They've been kind of battling the weight loss, and I'm not in their camp to see how hard it is, but we're saying 2 more fights, man. That's it. You don't have to be in shape when you're off, right? You could
Mm.
walk around at 160, right? Not saying get
But
a
I mean,
fat ass.
I know, but that doesn't that kind of like I mean,
Well, he's not
with
180.
Elio? No,
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 that's
he's not
true. Yeah,
180. Yeah, he's not. He's
he's
not
not
doing the
Mitchell
Ricky
Stanley.
Hatton thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Not
right.
saying go out and eat cheeseburgers and drink pints of beer. But you can be a little bit. You can walk around comfortable, right?
Mm,
You just need two more camps to get down to 147 to really set off the career. It really
Yeah,
does. Because I
yeah,
mean, you got to think the winner of Haney versus Garcia. If there's an undisputed in that division, and these guys do a million pay-per-view buys, you don't think they're going right to that fight?
yeah. They're going directly to that fight, and that like if we put it in that perspective, like you mentioned, like two fights, it's like, dude, you know, keep like the if you've had the discipline of a boxer, that's which is what these guys have. They have that like Spartan type of like gladiator type discipline, right? I mean, not all of them, but most boxers
Most,
do.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like, imagine that, like, all right, Boots, just one more year, bro. Just keep the discipline to stay as low as you fucking can. We two more fights from now or whatever, and then if you fucking win, like you can keep the discipline. It's kind of like when a fighter is tired and the corner man is like, dude, 6 minutes, give me 6 more fucking minutes. You can do this. We've done that shit in camp all the time. All you have to do is give me 6 more minutes, two more rounds or whatever the hell. That's how they have to be, right? I mean, not to say that Boots is
Off
the kind of guy who would fucking like fall off the horse, but it's like he needs those people around him to be like, dude, we're almost there.
off top of our memory, I don't remember Ennis ever missing weight on the scale. Correct?
Not that I can remember. No, no.
Yeah. So maybe, hopefully, he hasn't. It's hard for him to get there, but he hasn't had that type of moment yet. So
Mm,
maybe he still has a couple of fights in him, and it's all about the money too. Eddie really needs to talk them into seeing the big picture here.
mm,
So yeah, it was a good win on paper for him last night, and he really needed that knockout. Like
mm.
everything just came together last night for him. Um, it's
Yeah, because we
us
were
that are.
starting to doubt him. We were starting to doubt him
Oh,
after the
of
last few
course. I
opponents.
mean, come on, two fights with Eddie, both fights. Eddie's like, well, he knows he needs to do better. That's not what you want your brand new promoter saying when it was the other guys that were holding you back. Obviously, it was not them holding you back. L wasn't ready to pull the trigger on you. He might not have been ready 2 fights ago. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now he's had the pressure of being the main event in Philly. I believe Eddie took him home on one of his first fights. So
Mm.
he's had all that pressure of being trying to be the man now. And he shined. On his third fight, he finally shined. So now hopefully they can move forward and go for that third title or the fourth title. And that Barrios has earned the
Mm.
respect of the WB holding that WBC title. That's a fight where he can really hang his hat on if he's to take Barrios out.
Mm.
Barrios defeated Ugas, correct?
Yes, I want to say
So
he got
there's
a
a
little bit.
link. There's a link to at least the torch
Okay.
being passed. You,
All right.
you know where the
Yeah.
other two, there's no link at all. It's like
Now they're gone.
no, they just fucking called you in the night and gave you that belt.
Yeah. He woke up
So
to an email the next day and is like, oh shit, I guess I'm the legitimate champion now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's as close as we're gonna get to the passing of the torch would be Barrios
Mm.
handing it over to Ennis.
So do we? I mean, I'm sure Ennis and his team will care, but do we care who comes out the winner, either Garcia or Devin? Like, are we looking more for Garcia, like because he is what he has done and he's garnered the kind of attention, albeit probably negative attention? But are should we, for the sake of the sport and maybe for the welterweight division, kind of pray that Garcia? I mean, obviously. Well, I say obviously because anything can happen in the sport of boxing, but in an ideal world, he'll get just mop the floor with fucking Romero, and then go straight to the rematch with Devin, beats Devin, and then is that going to be the more money, or what if like Devin, comes out and is like, holy fuck, he beats the living shit the way we thought he was going to do against Garcia, and now Devin's the man, and now we got Devin and Boots. Does it matter if it's Garcia or Devin
It
against Boots?
matters to the people counting the dollars, right? It doesn't matter to us. It's entertainment for us, right? We'll buy both fights.
Mm,
But when you're talking financial status of the sport, where it's at, no, you want Garcia. Look,
mm,
Haney doesn't even have a following with his own people right now, right?
mm,
They've called him a sellout, a crybaby, a fraud, basically everything freaking that they could. They've insulted this kid with. He's a meme, just like who is that? Rosado told his dad, "You're a meme. You guys are memes." It's true.
yeah.
It really is true. That's what they turned that whole thing into. Um, so yeah,
But
no,
they can't redeem themselves. Like you don't think like let's say he comes out in the rematch. I mean he beats the living piss out of Ramirez. In
what I'm
May, and then does the same to Garcia.
this is where I was gonna end with is then for Ennis it sucks because Garcia is gonna ask for the third, right? So then that
Oh,
puts
mm,
yeah, and if it does a million buys and it's all got all the hype, they'll probably grant him the third,
damn.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I kind of want Garcia to win that so we can move on from and listen, it matters what Ryan we get in these next two fights on his behalf too, because I
Okay.
don't need the social celebrity Ryan Garcia.
Right.
I don't need
Yeah.
the lying kid, the kid looking for a like, a view, thinks that's how pay-per-view buys bought is through being a dipshit. I don't need that guy. That was real hard to get through
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, it
with
was.
Haney.
I mean, we doubted the
Um,
fight even was gonna take place.
I doubted the fight was going to take place. I mean, just it being so obnoxious, he made boxing look really bad. Here we are saying how top of athletes we are. Then we got this kid who, oh, I smoke, I drink, I've done drugs during
Yeah.
camp. I was drunk during the fight. Like, bro, no, you weren't. And that's not how we get it done over here. Like, we all know it was bullshit. And then then the whole, like I said, man, I didn't really like how he brought up the kids being hurt, yet has
Mhm.
never done a damn thing about it. Like Ryan, you totally let that whole kids are getting hurt thing just go. Weird, bro. Really weird that was all up in your head, but you do nothing about it. You just were thinking about it. Really weird. Um, so I don't want that guy. If I get another one of him, no, I'm all Haney. I'm Team Haney, bro. Swear to God, I'd be begging for Haney to beat this guy. We don't need it. He can go over there with Jake Paul. He could go
Yeah.
over there with TKO. He could be the face of TKO, dude.
Mm.
Oh, you won't like their money though. Sorry,
No, he
Dana.
won't like them.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, Dana. You're not getting Ryan.
No, definitely not getting right. Not taking them from Oscar. Not for damn sure. No fucking way.
Not for
Um,
150K.
no, no, definitely not. But definitely a lot on the horizon for Boots if he can just stay at 147. Again, not to
How
say that we're all
convincing
done.
was he, Miguel? When he said he was, did he say he was going 154? Did
Well,
he?
okay, so a couple of fights ago, he said it in the ring. He's like, I don't know, maybe it's time to go up to 54. He said it himself. This was maybe two, either I don't remember if it was the last fight or the one before that one, but literally within the last two fights, he said it in the fucking ring. Then last night, they mentioned it. They asked him again, right? Because he played with the idea on the previous fight, and they asked him like, or Chris Mannix asked him after the fight, which one's more important to you, do unification or moving up? And he's like, we'll see. So it was obvious that he didn't want to give us a more definitive answer, understandably so, because he doesn't want to shoot himself in the foot. But at the same time, the fact that that's even an option, that he's already looking at that, he's got one foot over there possibly already. So the fact that Chris Mannix even asked the question is because he has brought it up before himself. Um, even oh man, what fight was it? He in the fight in the post fight interview in the ring said maybe it's time to go to 154. Moments later, they have brought in Eddie Hearn and they asked him, and he's like, he's gonna do what he's gonna do, but I would love for him to stay at 147, and we see that he has. But man, he doesn't seem too convinced that he's able to stay at 147 because just that like, oh, we'll see kind of thing, and to some degree, I understand because he just got the fucking second belt, right, and the Ring magazine. So it's like, all right, let me just take a break and let me think about it, which is fine. But I would have liked for him to say that at least, like I,
Yeah.
I get it. He wants to say, all right, well, let me think about it. Let me go back and talk to the team, yada yada. But just that in of itself,
My
right?
dream is to be a unified, even though something
Yeah,
like that, or undisputed. Excuse me. My dream is to be the undisputed champion, but I gotta see. Give us two roads.
yeah, yeah. I would have liked to have him at least lean more into the undisputed at 147. At least, give us a little bit of that hope. Like that's the plan. Because I even thought, well, it would have been badass if he said, well, the point is to be undisputed, be either at 147 or 154. It don't fucking matter. It's one and two. So I was like, all right, cool. That kind of sort of makes a little more sense. But it just didn't convince me
And he
enough that he
still
was gonna do
needs the
that.
IBF though. We're forgetting about the I Norman.
No, no, that's a WBO. WBO. So
WBO.
he just beat the WBA champ Stanionis. He had the IBF. Norman has the WBO and Barrios WBC.
So there is still two
Yeah,
titles out there
but I
though.
mean, WBO has kind of always been looked at as like
Yeah.
the stepchild.
Would he still be considered undisputed without it?
Um, I don't think so, because I think that is what made Crawford in the four belt era.
The
You know,
four, yeah,
I think it would have to get all four. But I mean, so this, they may even mention this after the fight, that there was money, or Norman was offered a fight with Boots, and he turned it down for whatever the fuck reason. Now if there's a fight offered to him, he's probably going to get more money out of it, which is most likely a smart idea. But he doesn't seem to be interested in it. I mean, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but every time it's brought up to Norman, he doesn't seem very interested into it. He's like, whatever, like, I don't give a fuck. He got the belt, which is great. It defended it recently on the Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan rematch, and he won. Fantastic, great win. His first defense, I think he messed up his hand in the belt winning performance, so he was off for like 9 months, I think they said. But anyway, he doesn't seem to have it in him. Like every time they put a fucking microphone in him, he never says, "Yeah, let's go ahead, let's do this." So I don't know how successful they are. I'm sure Barrios would be down. I don't know about Norman.
yeah. I'm wondering if it's Top Rank holding that back. Norman wouldn't be the A side. Top Rank isn't going to go after that purse bid or anything, go after that fight at all. So maybe he's thinking he's got to wait a little bit longer until he's either away from Bob Arum, like so many others have went away, signed with someone else, and then maybe with Oscar or signed with Eddie himself to get that fight a little bit of a better level playing field, right? You want to be with the company that's basically looks like they're on the way out. They're not trying to win purse bids. They're not going out there making big fights anymore. There's no pay-per-views coming out of Top Rank. Like it just Top Rank's waiting for like someone to call and go, "Hey, are you selling your company?" Then Bob will go, "Yeah, what are you offering?"
Yeah,
Right? It's
yeah.
almost like that's what they're waiting for. Like I just don't see it, the drive in that company anymore. And it's not Bob's fault. I've said that for many weeks now because I know I'm talking bad about one of our big dogs in our sport, right? They've been
Mm.
the kings of this sport for a while, and it's kind of just here recently that I've been kind of turning my what is it? My confidence level is going down with Top Rank, but it has nothing to do with Bob Arum. He didn't put a good guy in front to take over. Todd DeBuff has totally fumbled this thing, and we're seeing the after effects of what's happening with Top Rank right now, and the fact that they're losing all of their fighters, and they just don't seem to be like the company that's getting it done anymore. So
And they're going to be most likely out of ESPN later this summer because their deal's going to end, and it's been suspected. As a matter of fact, one of the guys who just he just signed with fucking Matchroom. Amari Jones, the young cat, Olympic dude. He actually fought on their card as well. His only like second professional fight. When he first signed with Matchroom, we interviewed him. I was there. I had the pleasure of being there, and the fortunate circumstance of being invited to like the press conference. And he said, yeah, I was courted by a lot of other promoters, and it didn't occur to me to ask him like, hey, is one of the reasons you didn't sign with Top Rank maybe because of this shit's going on with like ESPN? They're not going to be on ESPN Plus anymore or anything like that. It didn't occur to me to ask him at that moment, but I think next time I might want to ask him if I can run across him again. But like the Top Rank is going down like fast, like that ship is sinking. And like you said, it's almost like they're just waiting for somebody to call them up and be like, hey, what's the offer? I suspect that call might come around July, which I think is when their deal with ESPN is going to come up. That might be it. I don't know if anybody else is going to want to, DAZN is calling them and be like, hey, you guys want to jump ship to DAZN? I don't know if that's going to happen, but it seems like if that call comes, as far as like, hey, are you guys for sale, chances are it'll come this summer.
the only ones that could afford that is Turkey, right?
Mm,
Because we
mhm.
already know that. And listen, this is now I can't even say he's worth $1 billion. I don't even know what Top Rank's worth today. Their stable just doesn't look the same.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like sale goes, like if you were to like
The
purchase, because I
stable,
th- oh,
yeah,
I
the
see.
stable just doesn't look the same. Remember, they used to have high profile case. These guys
Yeah.
are going to take in some of the biggest fighters in the world, where he just
Mm,
doesn't have those guys signed anymore. Like I
no.
said, I went when you go to Top Rank's freaking fighter profile, it's
Mm.
really sad, bro. It's really sad. There's like nobody on. Inoue, Tyson Fury,
Well, Fury's never gonna
Mayer.
ride anyway. You know.
Yeah.
He's pretty much on the way out. They already lost Shakur, right? Navarrete.
Yeah, but not yeah, no $1 million there, bro. You're
No,
getting him for a few $100,000 maybe.
that's true.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to talk shit. But
No, that's
Navarrete
just
is not
that's
a
the state of the way
he.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not $1 million fighter. So it'd be interesting to see who would fork that bill unless it's going to be this TKO people.
Mm.
Where are they going to start? They have
Yeah.
to start somewhere. Like Turkey isn't going to go, yeah, let's buy Bob Arum's thing. I'll take in all of their contracts, start paying them what Top Rank paid them, but you go ahead and start your stable however the fuck you're going to do it over there. He's going to be like, dude, you're
Yeah.
working with DAZN and them. And I think we all heard the WBC is now back in with Riyadh, so they must have had a phone call. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That
That
the
tournament or
Grand
whatever the hell
Prix,
it is. Yeah, Grand Prix. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
yeah, the Grand Prix is now sponsored by Riyadh.
Mm.
Dana has to be like, "What are you doing? Why are we doing this?"
Mm.
Doesn't sound broken, Turkey. When you got Grand Prix, you got to fucking fight. What is the zone to him? He has that going on with the zone. They bought into the zone. They have fights on there. And you have a lot of platforms of boxing talking about. You got this other guy talking about it's dead.
Mm.
I don't know if they buy Top Rank. Look, I don't. The little fish will be happy, right? Because they're all going to get
Yeah.
they all
Yeah.
get pay raises
That's what I'm thinking.
tremendously.
There are substantially more little fish in Top Rank,
Yeah.
so that might not be. What is the probability of maybe TKO coming in and saying, "All right, let's go ahead and get Top Rank," and in a way, if you want to go somewhere else, buy Fury. If you want to go somebody else, buy. If you want to, so and so, Navarrete. If you want to go somewhere else, buy because this is the pay structure.
They all have
Anybody
to
else?
go. I think everyone that
Yeah,
makes more than what Dana White's
yeah,
offering is out of
yeah.
there.
But that's my question though. Like there aren't that many of them, so like
Well,
they're
he's
willing
only
to take risks.
offering what 750, and that's to become a champ, though. You
Yeah,
got to remember, he's only offering 100 or 200,000. We'll have to look up the numbers, but
yeah, yeah.
the
Champ of
big
their
number is a
promotion.
champ.
Yeah,
If
champ of
these
their
guys,
promotion, mind you, not like WBC or WA champ.
yeah. So if they're not champions, they're not going to make that much money. Yeah, I don't know how that would affect. Like it would suck. Imagine if you're signed with Top Rank for 3 years, they buy out the contract. What does that do with your Top Rank contract? Is it now? Say Turkey said, "Hey, I bought your guys' contract. Don't worry, I'm going to eat a lot of money. I'm going to give
Mhm.
you guys, pay you guys, but you're all going to go to TKO's platform and fight under this." Do they have to abide by that
Yeah,
contract?
that I think, damn, I don't know. That's tough.
Right?
I want to say, and this is kind of again, I always have to revert back to the only thing I know more of is fucking pro wrestling. But there was a time where WWE's close competition, WCW, was owned by Ted Turner. Who owned the Atlanta Braves and the fucking a bunch of TBS, TNT, CNN, etc. And a lot of their big name wrestlers, the Hulk Hogan's and the Goldbergs and the fucking Diamond Dallas Page, they had contracts with Turner Broadcasting and not necessarily WCW per se. So when WWE purchased WCW, their contracts that they had with Turner Broadcasting were still in place, but they had to basically wait it out. So they got to sit home and fucking get paid whatever the remaining portion of that contract is and not fucking do anything for free. Basically, they basically got that. Now, I don't know how that would work with like Top Rank per se with these bigger money ones. I don't know who the head or the parent company is. Is there a parent company for Top Rank or is it just them? I don't know how that would work, but I have to assume that there's going to be a certain period where they're like, all right, let mama have to wait it out. Let the contract expire or
Yeah.
something like that. I have to assume because otherwise, how else would that work? I'm
Yeah,
not
and,
entirely
and
sure how that
so
would work.
for all the prospects, it would kind of be a blessing in disguise for them because they're literally going to. And when people were just talking about if this was TKO was to buy out Bob Arum is all we're talking about here. But all of his
Hypothetical.
yeah, all of his prospects would then go over there and start fighting for way more money than they ever made as prospects under Top Rank, right?
Right.
So for them, it's a blessing. You do your contract, but as soon as that contract's up, they're out of there. They're fucking out. You're talking about you're going to see guys that are undefeated 14-0, 17-0 go, "Yeah, you think I'm really signing back with you so I could get on this dumbass pay scale when Eddie Hearn, De La Hoya and all them are in my ear talking about you'll get 2 million as soon as you come over to fight your first fight with me?"
Mm.
They're gone. So you're going to
Well,
see a lot of
okay, sorry.
Dana will have to try to trap these guys in these
Mm.
contracts, but I think you're gonna see a lot of pushback. Like, no, we'll honor this
Mhm.
contract that you bought out, but we're not signing after that. And if that means we have to sit out for the remaining of this contract, I think they're gonna give them the middle finger because, bro, there's so much money that Dana's leaving on the table. Like it's
Mm.
that the pay scale that he's showing to what and we're talking about the best of the best. We're talking about the UFC of boxing.
Mm.
Those guys make a lot more money. They just do. I don't see
Yeah.
fathers going, "Oh no, we'll stick with you, Dana." No.
Right. And that they're basically gonna, I mean, again, hypothetically, they're gonna take the place of Top Rank. 'Cause that's what Top Rank is happening already. They're signing great talent, right? And more money, obviously. But the
Yep.
second they get to a certain level, fucking Terrence Crawford says, "Hey, I'm out of here." Oscar De La Hoya says, "Hey, I'm out of
Yeah.
here."
Yeah.
Most recently, what the hell's his name? Shakur says, "All right, fine, I'm out of here. Peace." That's what Top Rank has pretty much become, and that is what TKO could potentially be with the rest of these guys. They'll get them to 14, 15-0, getting paid, 500,000 or whatever the fuck. But then when they get a call from Oscar, like, "Hey, I know your contract's coming up in September.
Yeah.
$2 million over here." It's like, yeah, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just hypothetical talk, right? So
Yeah.
who the hell knows? Um, but yeah. So next topic, which is what I threw it in there earlier. Dmitry Bivol has decided to relinquish his WBC light heavyweight championship, and thus making one and David Benavidez the official WBC light heavyweight champ. He was the interim champion. He won when he won that title when he beat David Morrell. So that elevates him, sort of the way we talked about Boots Ennis, who was the IBF interim champion for a hot minute, and then
Terrible.
eventually got the call, the email says like, "Oh, I guess I'm the real champion." Okay, I guess that's what it is. So this is kind of maybe like a slightly multi-layered story here. So before we get into the other layers, Andrew, what was your first reaction when you heard that he was going to give up his WBC belt?
He deserves it. He's an older fighter. Him and Better Beef have a third fight on the table that
Right. Oh yeah, I
Turkey.
forgot to mention that. That's in lieu of that of possibly fighting Benavidez. It's a trilogy with Better Beef. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. And that one's offering just way more money. Look, Turkey's in the hole. If you go off of his numbers, like 30 million on that fight.
Mm.
There's no way Bivol was ever going to make $30 million fighting anybody else. This fight was totally overpaid. Bob Arum and who was it? Eddie Hearn. I thought it was Warren, but it was Eddie Hearn and Bob. They both said it. He totally overpaid us for this fight. That's why we're giving it to him. We're literally giving him this. We wouldn't have done the fight if it wasn't for him overpaying. So Turkey has a hard on for this fight. No Diddy, but this one gets him excited.
He got a little chub. He got a little chub.
Yeah, this one gets him going. He likes this one. Obviously, he's paid big money that nobody else. Matter of fact, he ain't even made the shit back. That's how much he likes these guys.
Yes, that's how much.
Have you ever seen someone just sign over 30 million, not make a dime off of it?
That's
What the fuck?
Boner he's got for these fucking fights. He's willing to sign those fucking checks. I don't give a fuck if I don't make it back. He's
Bivol
guy signing fucking, paying for OnlyFans on fucking like that. I don't give a fuck if I get in return. You're hot as fuck. Right.
Yes, no, Bivol owes him that third fight. So, and because of his age, come on, this could be a retirement fight for him. A retirement trilogy, man. These guys, they're not big spenders. Floyd bankrupt, but they're not big spenders, So he's going to take another 10 mil, add that to the other 20 something million he's already made, and he's out.
Mm.
So it's a good move for Bivol. It's weird that this fight is going to get made now without really no titles. This is just going to be two names, correct? Now it's
well, if as I understand it, it won't be for the official undisputed because he still has the other belts. He still has the ring belt. He still has the IBF, WBA.
They're not going to strip him though.
The only one that I've heard is the WBC saying, "Hey, either you fucking fight Benavidez or you give it up," and he decided to give it up. So I haven't read anything about him giving up any of the other belts. It's a possibility, but I think the other belts are a little bit more lenient. They're like, "All right, fuck it, we'll just do it and fuck the mandatory later or whatever."
They should all stick together. They should all stick together. If
Well,
they really
they should all stick together in the sense that they should have let him keep the fucking belts or strip them since now the
strip,
WBC.
they all should pull that fucking. Well, if you're not defending the WBCs, you got to defend ours by next week. If you don't defend it by next week, we're stripping you. You know how they always do? They pull that shit out of nowhere. They give them these crazy ass dates. You got 2 months.
Sergio Martinez.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't want Turkey to be able to dictate the sport like that. Like, oh, I don't want your belt. Keep it. I'll give you more money. You just come fight for me. And you go, oh, okay. Hey, I'm gonna go fight for more money. None of your titles are on the line. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll be here when you get back. Nah, we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't need to be playing. They got to pick, man. It's either you're going old school or you're going Turkey, new school, whatever the fuck he's doing with Dana White. Because I gotta believe, Miguel, and I keep saying this to you guys. At some point, Dana White needs to control the situation about I can't be signing guys when you're paying millions to other people in the same fucking sport. It's not gonna work for us, and it's not. You'd have to have a very small IQ to go sign up for TKO if you had the ability to fight for Hearn, Warren, De La Hoya, or Al Heyman. You have a very small IQ because those guys are paying way more money right now. Right now. That's what we're seeing.
And they have to be interested in you to begin with.
They're not just I'm saying the skills.
There's no point in having a bidding war if they don't give two fucks about the fighter.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, we're talking about the best of the best here. You have to have a small IQ to sign up for what Dana's offering. And I just don't see that happening. So I don't want Turkey to be able to do this because we all know that's what he did here. Yeah. He said, they want to make you what was it? Demand that you defend against Benavidez. All right, drop the title. You just come fight for me. We don't want that in our sport. You know what I mean? So even if it's been there before, I know there might be some historian going, "Oh, it was always like that." I don't care. This is a totally different situation, though. Yeah. Right? This isn't about belts battling each other. This is about two men saying they're going to take over the sport, basically. Right? And their future didn't look bright. So yeah, that's where I am with Bivol. Bivol can do this as a retirement thing. Canelo did it as a retirement thing, right? Canelo probably dropped the title too if they were to ever put a demand on him. He already has a 4-fight deal with Turkey, and that's probably his retirement papers. So there are going to be guys in that situation.
Enough to where, like, because I mean, keep in mind that most of these sanctioning bodies, they charge a fee, right? So if fighters see that there's now a much bigger paycheck over here and I don't have to fucking pay a fee for this over here, when over 3% or whatever the hell it is, wouldn't there be more of an incentive for people to drop the belts?
I think of now look, I'm only talking about the best of the best here because that's the only way the UFC works. Is if they have the best of the best. The UFC never would have worked if they had all the B guys and Pride had all the best of the best. Then the UFC never becomes a UFC. The UFC only becomes that because they had legends fighting for peanuts. And that's what he needs to happen again in boxing. So where was I going with that? Oh, so the fee for the belt, that's like a union due to me, bro. It really is. Like, we make so much money. I give a fuck about the union. You know, guys, oh, man, they make you pay fees. They take your money. Miguel, I ain't never had a problem with them motherfuckers taking my money. I make too much. It's a happy check you write, right? Just keep that work coming in. Yeah. I like you guys. You like me. We're all good. Yeah. That's how I see it. I think the same about guys that are making millions of dollars. Oh, what? I got to sign a few $1,000s over to you? I made $2 million. Ooh, boo-hoo. Right? As long as you invest right. Not like Floyd. Not like Floyd.
Yeah.
You heard, right?
My jewelry. No.
You heard.
The last I heard is that he put some money in some apartment complex or something.
Oh, and it was fake. Now
Oh,
they're
good
saying that
lord.
was fake.
Good
They're
fucking.
saying his name ain't nowhere on the papers, bro.
Oh no.
Like
Uh,
he put in $1 million in like the very beginning to get it off the ground, but didn't stay with it or some shit. He's not in the final draft.
oh Floyd.
Yeah, it's not looking good for our guy. It's not
No.
looking good for Money May. Stephen
Damn.
A. Smith came out on his podcast talking shit about him being bankrupt. That's pretty big. You know,
Oh.
Stephen A. Smith, he knows somebody. He
Mm-hmm.
knows somebody that knows Floyd. That's all I'm saying. And if he's
Mm-hmm.
saying, and he felt, I don't know him, you guys, just not looking good for our guy right now. He's what are they calling him? Like he don't have any cash. He's got assets he could sell. He could
Oh,
start
he
selling
doesn't
shit.
have liquid cash or whatever, right? Doesn't
Yeah,
have to do with that.
yeah.
Assets that he
He's
could sell.
dried. The 18, the checking account that once had 100 million.
No.
No 100 million.
Gonna be closing that account real soon. Like,
Yeah,
Floyd, we're gonna charge you a fee for not using your debit card. No. Um, but
yeah.
yeah.
So if you spend like Floyd, then probably he probably bitches about fees right now a lot. He's probably like, them motherfuckers robbed me. Floyd, you bought an $18 million fucking watch. Shut up.
Yeah. It's like, man, that 100,000 that I wrote to WBC really would come in handy right
Man,
now.
remember when you gave Lamborghini 60 grand to put your name on the fucking
Yeah.
dashboard? Shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
bro.
Like, remember when you embroidered your initials into the seats, motherfucker? Uh, remember you had towels with your name on them? Bath towels, Floyd.
Nah,
Um,
look, so don't invest like him. As
right.
long as you invest right, a fucking title fee shouldn't be hurting you. You know?
Fair enough. So one of the other layers of the story is one Mauricio Suleiman coming out and basically talking about the text slash conversation notification, and he doesn't specify exactly how, but basically this is what Mauricio Suleiman said on Instagram or Twitter, might have been, or X, whatever you want to call it. He says, I have just received a cold and impersonal notification from Dmitry Bivol, or Dmitry Bivol's lawyer, Patrick English, that's his name, with arguments that are so ridiculous that I'd rather not even discuss, informing the WBC that Dmitry Bivol has decided to relinquish his WBC light heavyweight championship. We wish Bivol success and hereby confirm David Benavidez as a WBC World Light Heavyweight Championship. So he comes out and says, "Hey, I received this notification, this official, like letter or whatever the hell it is, email slash text, whatever the hell the official is, from Bivol's lawyer Patrick English, basically saying, yeah, we're gonna this belt." I would have liked for Mauricio to let us know what these arguments were that Patrick English was
Right.
talking about, how ridiculous they were. Even if they were ridiculous, they sure as hell would have made for great content. Because I mean, I would love to have heard what the fuck that was. But um, apparently, it wasn't. It was a representative of Bivol, his lawyer, who basically said, "Hey, this is what it is." So it wasn't Bivol directly, I guess. I don't know if Mauricio has made the attempt to maybe reach out to Bivol specifically, but in either case, he has officially called WBC or David Benavidez official WBC champ. Um, Great for Benavidez. Now he's official champ, right? But just like the same case with Butsenis, you don't want to win a belt like that, right? I mean, you want to take it from somebody, and specifically the last person who have held it. That's kind of the way it goes. You win them in the ring, you lose them in the ring. That's kind of how it is. But now he wins it by email, I suppose. I don't. I've seen a couple of posts of Benavidez, with some sort of pride, being like, "Yeah, I'm the official belt holder now," but I kind of sense that he didn't want to win it that way. How does this make Benavidez look? Like, I mean, I know it's not really his fault per se, but he's kind of getting fucked really here. He's the one that's going to end up suffering the consequences of what was it? Riddick Bowe throwing the fucking belt in the trash, and Lennox Lewis ends up becoming that. Is he destined for that with this? With this kind of like, damn, he's got that belt the way Lennox Lewis got it.
If Benavidez keeps a small circle, he should be fine, right? Because in his circle, he's probably the dark horse of boxing. Canelo is scared of him. Bivol is scared of him. They're all scared of him. Blah blah blah. If he hangs around with a lot of guys that don't like him, there's a lot of holes you could be shooting, right?
Mhm.
Like, bro, you're unmarketable. That's why you didn't get your title shot. You know, they got bigger fish to fry. You don't make enough money. right? There's just so many. So it just matters what kind of group of people he's hanging around with. Stay off social media because we all know the haters are all over social media. He shouldn't be there because
Mm.
they're just gonna hate. He does,
Yeah.
and they don't have a right to, but they have an argument. Like you said, he didn't win a title.
Mm.
Can you imagine me waiting? It sucks for these guys, man. Like this really is so anticlimactic. Is that how you say it? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
I like that.
excitement, you're
Right.
supposed to be carried on the ring. You're supposed to take out someone, right? It was supposed to
We're
be
getting blue balls here. We're getting blue balls. It was
eh,
getting great, and
big
then it just
time,
never could. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
for
for them.
them, yeah, and us too, but more for the fighter.
Sure.
He was supposed to fight Canelo. Dream. That's a dream for him.
Mm.
Bam, gets taken away. All right, now fuck it. You'll fight the guy that beat Canelo. Bam, back on top of the world. Bam, gets taken away. That's fucking sucks, man.
Mm.
Then hey, grandma, I'm the champ. Oh, you beat Canelo? No, grandma, I didn't beat. Oh, you beat Beef? No, grandma, I didn't beat. How are you the champ? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Like, grandma, read this email. Shit. I got this email from
oh,
Mr. Marissa.
oh, mijo, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I'll laminate this for you and put it on the fucking, I'll print it out and put it on the wall. I was reading one of these articles about, the post that Marisa Suleiman did. And here it even says that, where am I at? Here we go. Bivol remains and this was, I think, the 7th. So this was like earlier, so Monday. Bivol remains the WBA, IBF, and WBO champion. Benavidez is expected to be elevated to full light heavyweight champion and make his first title defense, which I will talk about momentarily. But it does say here, although Bivol versus Benavidez fight won't take place, Benavidez promoter Samson Lukowski, if I can pronounce it correctly, is happy to re-explore the matchup should Bivol emerge victorious in his trilogy with Better Biev. He goes on to say, "We will give Better Biev and Bivol, the winner, the opportunity at the WBC belt." He says, "We are only one call away. Let's make that fight happen." So they're not completely eliminating the possibility because obviously they want it. They want it badly after getting blue balled against Canelo as well. So clearly, Benavidez and his team are definitely leaving the door open to a potential fight with whoever comes out the winner of the trilogy. They just have to wait a little bit longer, of course. But according to what it's saying here, it looks like Bivol is going to keep his other belts, IBF, IBO, IBF, and WBA and W. I don't think the other sanctioning bodies are going to try to strip him of it, but
So
that's kind
then,
of what it looks like.
this could have been a deal worked out with both parties. I mean, obviously, there's no hard feelings if he's like, hey, we'll wait.
Yeah.
After you're done, give us a call. I'm sitting here doing nothing. Was it? They were like, bro, fuck your step aside money. I want the title. And Bivol was like, all right, we'll give you the title and you go have a fight, and then maybe I'll fight you after that. Is that what? That seems what it sounds more like what got worked out here. No step
Mm.
aside money. This is your second time stepping, or this would be their third time. He had to take step aside money, basically, right? In other
Mm.
words, instead of that, no, third time's a charm. I want the title. That's how they
Yeah.
kept the relationship good.
Mm.
That's what I'm seeing now with that because that doesn't sound like you're mad. It sounds like
Right.
you're waiting in line again.
Yeah.
That's all. That statement tells me. So yeah, no, this was a third time you're out for the WBC.
Yeah.
WBC, David probably wanted that title because they have made him wait so long, and Bivol and them said, yeah, I'll agree to that. You take the title, we'll fight you later. And that's
Yeah.
perfectly
And
fine.
maybe they'll find, because mind you, this is like retiring time money that he's gonna get up against Better Biev. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, Bivol ends up fucking, or either one of them. Let's say Bivol or Better Biev ends up winning. They're up there in age. They're probably gonna be like, I'm not sure specifically Bivol, but I know Better Biev is like reaching 40. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, Better Biev ends up winning and it's like, all right, cool. This is a good way to call it a day, call it a career, right off to the sunset. Bye, David. Like that.
Yeah, no, if that's what if he was looking for health and all the good reasons to get out of boxing with the win, yes. History has shown most of the time these fighters don't retire until there's nothing left to drain, right? Until
Right.
all the dimes and nickels are squeezed out of you is when you call it quits. So with that being said, I think the winner, the money would be so big, right?
Mhm.
Because then you have Turkey's back in the deal. He might want to see the fight again. Say the winner of Better Be Bivol 3 is a defining victory.
Okay.
No close victory. Well, that fight just probably got pretty big out there. So yeah, it's I think the winner of that trilogy will take one more fight, because the money will be just too big to step away.
All right. So in the meantime, we have David Benavidez with the WBC belt, and it is rumored, it's quote unquote, we're discussing that fight, was what Eddie Hearn said in regards to a potential fight with Callum Smith. Okay. That's a pretty solid fight. I mean, let's just say, for the sake of argument, if there was ever a situation where, instead of Bivol relinquishing the belt and giving it to the interim champion, in this case Benavidez, if it was vacant, let's just say it was vacant, I'd be down for a Benavidez versus Callum fight for the vacant belt. That seems a little bit more legitimate. That it's almost like, all right, you're at least fighting someone for the belt. It was it Callum's most recent fight on one of these undercards. I forgot which one it was. I think it was um what was that card? Oh, yeah, I think it was the last one, the Better Biev and Bivol
Yeah,
second fight, the last Crescendo, right? Fighting Joshua Buatsi, and in a fucking terrific fight. What a slugfest of a fight it was, and he came away with the victory. It's like, all right, cool. So he's back. He's got the power. He still has the power at 175. Considering we've seen two fights from Benavidez at 175 and not exactly the same kind of power that he had at 168. This makes the fight pretty juicy, I'd say. What do you think about a potential fight with Benavidez and Kellen Smith?
I don't find it as juicy as you do.
Damn.
Look,
Shit.
to me,
Squat
it's
that
an.
to the ground, why don't you?
I was trying to find a new opponent, and BoxRec just fucking blocked me. And they're like, "You got to log in." I fucking hate that website now.
Yeah.
It's like my 9,000th password. I'm probably gonna have to create.
Resetting your password every single time.
Hey,
Uh,
I've done it so many times. They no, you can't do that one. You've already done it. I'm like, fuck. Why don't you let me in if I'm that close? Damn
yeah.
it. But anyways, Callum Smith, come on, I'm like kind of over this dude, man. This is Eddie
Right.
Hearn's fucking revolving door guy here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly
Um,
what it is. That's precisely what's going on.
yeah.
It's
No,
almost like, oh, what, David Benavidez doesn't have an opponent? Hey, Kellen. Yeah, we got this guy. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah.
much what it is.
Yeah. So I w- I would hope they look a little bit deeper. Um, Even if they try to do he needs a big fight, right?
Well, outside of Better Biev and Bivol, I'm pulling up right now ESPN's rankings just to see who else would be there. But I mean, outside of Better Biev and Bivol, I mean, are there that many?
I was thinking a big Mexican showdown with the catchweight with like a Gilberto Ramirez, bro. Like reach out to Oscar and see if Ramirez wants to do some kind of big fight,
Yeah,
Mexican
because
Independence Weekend or
we have Anthony Yarde, we have Buatsi, the guy that we mentioned before, a guy who's already beat that Alexander, the other
yeah.
Ukrainian dude. Um, yeah, I mean, those are just the top 10 dudes, and then a bunch of other guys who aren't that big of names. But yeah, catch weight with what would you say with
With
Zurdo?
Ramirez.
Oh,
Yeah.
mm,
Just reach out to Oscar, see if they want to do something. Because they're both Mexican, bro, it could get hot. You know what I mean? Is there anyone from middleweight that could move up
super middleweight.
or super middleweight? Yeah, is there anyone from super middleweight that could move up to face him?
Um, I mean, there are. I'm not. There's who the hell was it? Berlanga missed weight in his last fight, although he said it was because he got sick or something like that. Because they even asked him like, "Hey, is it time to move up to 150 or 175 or what?" He's like, "No, no, I just got sick." Um, Still sort of kind of keeping the Mexico versus Puerto Rico, even though they're both
Yeah, no.
Americans, right? Um, I mean, there's other, super middleweights, of course, but I don't know if they're willing to. He already beat Caleb Plant, so Plant is going
Yeah.
to do it. Other guys, Pacheco's his homie, so that's not going to happen. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are some. If we probably aren't coming to mind at the moment, but they're obviously going to be giving. They're going to be giving up this disadvantage, or giving this advantage to Benavidez. I don't know if anybody's going to be willing to do that.
For the money, for the money, that's what he needs to be. whoever's going to fight him needs to be thinking about would be the biggest fight of their career, most likely, moving up to fight Benavidez. But yeah, he's really he's really back in a PBC like situation. You know, just nobody out there. You're gonna get another has been, another walk in the park. You know, and then we're gonna say how great he is, and he's the next big thing. But the guy just
Again.
doesn't. He's like Ennis, man. He just does not have a fight that actually. I mean, I guess you could say the Caleb Plant was a big fight for him. Demetrius Andrade, even though dude kind of goes away, never comes back. You know, Andrade was such a flash in the pan. I kind of hate those fighters on guys' resumes. You know, where you're Fernando Vargas was close to being that too. Where like when Trinidad first beat him, it's like, damn, he beat Vargas. What a great fight. Then Vargas' career is over. You're like, well, how great really was Fernando? You know, and that's to me what Andrade is, a poor man's Vargas, right? He's not even Vargas.
Mm.
You could say he was a champ. He had title defenses. He was undefeated, and then you just do that because his career kind of goes nowhere. There's no legacy to his career at all.
But that could be because of the fight. No, that could be just because of the ass whooping that he
It
got. And
just
he just never
sucks.
wasn't the same.
It just sucks that he doesn't have a fight that puts him there, right? Yeah, yeah. Chavez ruined a dozen undefeated records, right? No one says shit about it. The guy fought a dozen undefeated dudes. There's so many undefeated records on that man's resume. Yet
Yeah.
no one cares because half of them turn out to be shit.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
that's just how that goes, and that's where, unfortunately, that's where boxing seems to be right now. A lot of big changes happening. I don't remember phone calls being made as often as they are in today's boxing landscape, where
What
guys
do you
are
mean?
winning, where guys are getting titles over the
Oh,
phone.
I see. I see. Okay.
There is no passing of the torch of anything right now. There is just a lot of phone calls and emails being sent out, and it's been that way. I think it even started with the whole PBC when they were holding out. You know, you'd even go back to that era of guys just not they were winning on vacant title shots, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
how like the whole fucking welterweight division got made that one
Pretty
time?
much. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it sure does. So, uh, Benavidez is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. I can see why, his team is like, sure, sure, we'll wait for the winner of the trilogy. What the fuck else we gonna do, in the meantime? Like, we
Give
have
me
that.
your belt.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, give me some sort of collateral. Give me your belt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Collateral.
right.
That's yes.
It's like,
That's what it
let me
was.
come and rent these fucking skate shoes at the skating rink. But you give me your ID. Okay, cool.
You
There you go.
you guys has told me this 2 times already. Here, just hold on to this. I'll be back for it. I swear to
Yeah.
God, I'll be back.
Shit. It's like this
That's a
time we're
good
gonna
one.
give you a frame for it that you can put on your wall. Oh shit. All right, let's do it. Fuck yeah. Give me the belt.
I'm the champ.
Yeah, I'm the champ. I was gonna say I need a nameplate on the fucking belt, please. That says I'm the official champ. Because otherwise, I don't trust you anymore, Mauricio. You and your fucking lines. Um, yeah, but stuck in a hard rock place. The fight with Ramirez does sound pretty appealing, though. They can do some sort of I don't know
That's
when they.
that's the only main event they got.
Yeah.
If they don't go with Ramirez, bro, he's back on the undercard of Gervonta Davis's next fight. That's all he has. You know, maybe Zoo. Team up with Zoo. I don't know. Go to Australia, see if you can pack a house over there with him. But don't be on a main event if it's not a headliner, because you've done this your whole career. I don't know. It seems to have helped him, right? He's the dark horse of the of
Yeah.
the the boxing world, so it has helped in that way. But I would stick with Gervonta. Maybe not Zoo, but stick with Gervonta. Try to get those numbers up.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. So, on that note, along those lines, I don't want to call it a ducking per se, but it was recently reported by Matchroom Boxing that they have removed or withdrawn Diego Pacheco from a potential fight with one Christian Mbili for the WBC championship. Um, that one, you had your idea. You're like, this might be the reason why, but we kind of sort of cleared that up before we started the show. But um, man, Diego looked great in his last fight. Didn't look the best, but when they show him, when there's word or there's talk, rumors of him potentially fighting this dude Christian and Billy, I don't know. And Billy looks intimidating as fuck, but I mean, is he? And he hits hard. I'm not gonna say he doesn't hit hard, obviously, right? The dude fucking swings for the fences every time, but figured Diego could beat him. I thought, that's like, yeah, he's kind of in that position of a boogeyman himself, and Billy, whenever the hell he's going to get his chance at Canelo, if that ever does happen, highly doubted, but he's in that position. And now we have this young kid coming up, and he's kind of in prime spot. It's like, all right, I'll show this young man that he's not ready for my fucking thing yet, right? And it seems to have worked, because now Pacheco, they went ahead and pulled him, and he's not going to be fighting for the interim WBC super middleweight championship. What do you think about this? Is it just, let's
It,
go ahead and not throw him in the deep end that fast?
I didn't know it was that big of a deep end.
Well, yeah, clearly,
According to Eddie and them, yeah, no,
yeah.
obviously to them it is. But when you look at both fighters, I thought, when is Pacheco gonna be ready? I've talked about Diego before,
Mhm.
where I felt like he's been under the spotlight for a long time, fighting on TV, fighting on multiple platforms. What are they waiting for?
Mm.
Soon he's going to be fighting down to the opposition that you guys have put in front of him for his whole career. And then when you do put him in the ring with the likes of, if it's not Billy, how do you say it?
Uh, Billy, just the in front of the
Billy,
Billy. Yeah,
Billy. If it ain't him, who is it going to be?
right.
Right. So I don't think your first fight should be Caleb Plant. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I don't think your first fight shouldn't be
Yeah.
Canelo. So where are you guys going to start? You know what I
Mm.
mean? This was a perfect start. That's why, Miguel, I came up with the Berlanga angle so fast. But after talking with you, yeah, he's not under Eddie. Is a potential that there could be a fight there, but it's just, I don't know if Berlanga even wants to be in the same room with Eddie Hearn, for as bad as Eddie made him look on his going away party. Um, it was just and it seemed like it was totally planned. Eddie Hearn was kind of joking about it, laughing about it, put him on the undercard. It's just, there was a lot of wrong going on there. And so I don't know if Berlanga would even sit down with these guys until he looks at all of his other options, right? And
Mhm.
that's, first off, it sounds like Turkey. That's the first guy he wants to go talk to see what they're offering him for any fight that in his potential future. So it leaves me just dumbfounded why they pulled Diego from this title shot. Um, what Lee would say is that they're just using him. They're ripping the kid off. They're fucking using him for money. They're fighting him locally. Get a little few thousand people in there. They all divide the money up and keep the ball going. If you put him in with the champ and he's not ready, gets knocked out, that all goes away. So
Mm.
maybe that's their comfort zone. I don't know. You got to look at his team. Does he have he's with Eddie Hearn, but who's his managers? Who's his trainers? They might be in a comfort zone that they don't want to get out of.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a letdown though, because I was thinking Diego was ready. I was really impressed with his last fight, especially because I've been kind of hard on the kid, even though he's still very young. I'm only hard because he's been on TV for so long. You would think this kid was a gold medal winner out of the Olympics. They've kind of babied him so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, spread his fucking wings already. And Billy was the perfect, in my opinion, was the perfect opponent, because yeah, hard puncher, but in technical and all that. No, he's lacking in a lot of things himself. He's a wild puncher. He's not technically one of the best fighters in the world. So if your guy is the future, and Billy shouldn't have been a hard opponent to walk through. That's where I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's been knocked out in sparring.
I want
They,
to say, during his before he fought Steven Nelson, I think he was saying that he was sparring with Carlos Adames, and his face was pretty marked up when we went to go do it. But I mean, I went to go do like a media workout kind of thing, and we were able to see him hit the bag and everything, and his face was a little marked up. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't like, holy fuck, who beat your ass? But it looked like he was going hard and sparring, and he did mention that he was sparring with Carlos Adames, who's a middleweight.
and
But
a former champ, right? Didn't
yeah,
he have a
yeah,
little belt?
current champ. He has the
Current champ.
WBC champ. Yeah, he's got the
Okay.
WBC belt
The
right now.
middleweight.
Yeah, middleweight.
The middleweight. All right. So then that could very well be what happened there. They picked up his opponents in the sparring, knowing that he was about to get ready to go to the next level, and the champ gave it to him. That could have been. That
It
could have
could
very
be.
well.
I pulled up this fucking article here. So obviously Diego Pacheco pulls out of a purse bid with Christian Billy. It says apparently this is dead in the water for a second time. I don't remember it happening the first time, but shit, I must have been out of the fucking loop. But apparently this is the second time it's been officially like canceled. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman posted on X that Pacheco has been withdrawn from the purse bid for a bout against Mbili for the WBC interim super middleweight title. The purse bid, which was set to take place on Tuesday, has been canceled as a result of Pacheco's withdrawal. This is what Suleiman said specifically. It's very unfortunate that Diego Pacheco has pulled out of the process for the ordered fight against Billy. The WBC hereby cancels tomorrow's purse bid. Apparently, there was going to be a purse bid last week, or earlier last week, Tuesday, I believe it was. That's what it says. Boxing Scene's Jake Donovan reported that this is the second time that Pacheco has withdrawn from a purse bid for a bout against Mbili. He also added that Pacheco will likely face Trevor McCumbee in his next bout instead. If you remember Trevor McCumbee, he fought Caleb Plant on I think it was Morale and Benavidez undercard. And it says Pacheco is coming off an impressive unanimous decision over previously undefeated Steven Nelson, yada yada, McCumbee, yada yada. All right, so nothing beyond that. But really, they don't think he's ready for Billy. How they're gonna throw him in there with McCumbee? I mean, McCumbee will he'll throw. I'm not gonna say he's not gonna throw, but definitely different. Going to a fight for the potential interim WBC super middleweight title or another
the start of your
normal,
career, man.
Yeah.
Basically, the start of your career to McCumbee. That's the dude's a nobody. The dude got knocked out in the biggest fight of his life. He got knocked out, and it wasn't close. Like, he had close rounds, but it wasn't a close fight at the end. Caleb really started putting it on him at the end there until he finished him. Yeah, that's just weird. I gotta lean towards they know something we don't. There's a little Tommy Hearn story going on in the locker room there.
Camp.
Yeah. Emmanuel Stewart said it best. What did he say? Damn it, I just lost it. What did he goes when it landed, they all were gonna know or some shit like that.
Oh.
Remember when he first time he gets knocked out, he goes, they're all gonna know.
Damn.
That boy don't got no chin.
That's definitely a real possibility. I mean, we don't know right behind closed doors, but the fact that this happened a second time, like, here's the thing: if it happens once,
True.
Okay, if it happens once, why even like, well, how can I explain it? If you don't, it's gonna look worse if you go at it a second time and then withdraw a second time. Why not just not be in the fucking picture to begin with?
They're
like
scared.
All right.
They're scared, huh?
Well,
hey,
I mean,
you guys are starting to look a little scary. You're right. That's the second time, same guy. So what were they hoping for? That Canelo was gonna fight him, take that, take the little interim away from him, then he'd get full blown title shot at Canelo? Is that what they're waiting for?
The cash cow?
Yeah.
Like, shit, it didn't happen. It's like, fuck, then we gotta fight this guy.
Yeah. No, I don't want to fight him. Yeah, that is a little scary. I don't know, you guys. You guys.
But Miko, it's for the interim belt. Like, no, Dad, I don't want that. Yeah, that's Yeah, I don't know. I just figure, like, I always tell people, like, if somebody's ducking somebody, they're not gonna be in talks with them. Like, all right, let's go ahead and talk about it, and then withdraw in the last minute, in the 11th hour. Like, I wouldn't. That's just fucking carrot on a stick thing. And it's like, if they really don't want to fight the dude, then they won't even fucking be in negotiation with him to begin with. But I don't know. This seems to, like, maybe, oh yeah, we'll fight him. Yeah, we are real stand-up guys. We'll go ahead and get it going, and then in the 11th hour, basically fucking pull the trigger and or pull the carpet out from underneath them. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it seems like you said, somebody knows something in that locker room that's like, yeah, let's not fight this Billy dude. Yeah. Sucks. But on the subject of one Canelo, it was recently reported by him himself that there is a very, 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 very strong possibility that he is probably going to call it quits after his 4-fight deal, or whatever, the 3-fight deal or 4-fight deal against with Turkey and Riyadh season. I don't know who these opponents are going to be. I guess we can kind of play with the idea a little bit later on. But let me go ahead and pull up this quote that Canelo had in regards to this, which is how the Ring magazine has published it. So it says, this is a quote, of course, Canelo talking. He's talking to TMZ. He says, "In the sport of boxing, I've already accomplished everything," Alvarez told TMZ. I fought everybody. I fought the best. I won a lot of titles in different weight classes. I have been the pound for pound king, fighter of the year, everything, you name it. If we're talking about money, well, hell, it's never enough. But it's not just about the money. It's about enjoying everything. I'm still enjoying boxing, and that's why I'm still here. But if we're talking about money, that's just never enough. But I'm not thinking about making a specific amount of money and then retiring. No, no, no. I'm going to do my thing. And when 38, 37 comes around, it's the time to go. All right. Well, we're very close to that. I mean, he'll be 35, I think, in November. So he's rapidly approaching that. Um, Considering he generally fights twice a year, we're looking at 2 fights in 2026, 2 fights in 2027, and that's it. And he'll be 37 by that point. Maybe one more year after that, but I doubt, according to this here, 37, 38. If he's talking about 38, we're talking about an additional year after that. But it seems as though at this point it's just maybe legacy, big paydays, and then call it quits. So a lot of these other fighters who are maybe hoping to get a shot at Canelo, I don't think they're going to have a chance, an opportunity to, because once these 4 fights are done, he's probably going to bounce and right off into the sunset, which he has earned, right, rightfully so. He at this point, that they say. Sometimes the sport of boxing retires you. So if he wants to go out on his own terms, whatever the deal was, I forgot the amount of money that he's been offered for these 4 fights. It's pretty much career ending. It's like, all right, this is the
They're
retirement
saying
plan
it's
right
like
here.
they're saying it's 400 or 500 million.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
right.
I heard
According,
Rosado. Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
heard
Rosado
Rosado.
and I believe Mikey Garcia mentioned it right there on that
Yeah.
one podcast with Abner Mares. That's goddamn. Understandably,
On top of the
what he's already made.
300 million he already made with the zone, the 100 and something million he made with Golden Boy. The guy's pretty rich.
Yeah, right, right,
Definitely pretty
exactly. So
rich.
let's hope we don't hear any stories of him in the way we were hearing them of Mayweather down the
Now,
line.
that's what I was going to talk about.
Okay, by all means.
Canelo does kind of live. He doesn't live as high
Lavish.
as
Yeah,
lavish as Mayweather, but the horses, the Lamborghinis, he has mansions. I've seen it all on his
the silk
little
pajamas.
Instagram feed. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Private jets. So we've seen Canelo live that sort of that life. And we know those horses aren't cheap,
No,
right?
the
Those
maintenance
he
on those
has.
fucking Jesus.
Yes. The stable, right?
Mhm.
Just the landscaping and all that you need for ponies like that. So, um, I I I think he's in it until there's not a dime left. I really do. I don't think he's gonna go home and start selling things. I don't think he's getting rid of the horses. I know he has a lot of money made,
Mhm.
but there's always more to be made. And if he goes his next 4 fights and he's still 4-0, he ain't not walking away. Because
No,
that fifth fight's gonna be worth $1 billion in
right.
Turkey's mind, right? I
Yeah,
mean, can you?
but
He
is
goes.
he not running out of opponents at this point? Like,
Well,
uh,
that's the thing.
okay,
That's the thing.
the kind of opponents that will give him a fucking billion, kind of thing. That's what I'm saying.
We're hoping that it's gonna be a Benavidez at the end of this
Yeah,
tunnel, right? At the
because I
end
kind
of
of wanted to
his.
play with that idea. It's like, all right, ideally, hypothetically, in our fantasy brains, who would those 4 opponents would be?
And we had thought about that before, but some of them have gotten like I thought Jake was gonna. I thought Terrence and Jake Paul were right off the top. I thought
Mm.
two of those
Oh,
guys were
that's
gonna
right. We did
were
talk about that. That's right. Yeah.
yeah. And then you have
Which he did say, by the way, that he's not counting that fight out with Jake Paul. It's like anything can happen. He says he always wants to leave that on the table. But anyway, go ahead.
no because it makes so much money,
Yeah.
and really Canelo's not in it for legacy right now. Legacy would have him fighting Bivol and Benavidez, and he's not
Mm.
even in that division, so it's not legacy anymore. He went back to go make some money
Well,
with
he's already done enough for legacy, I mean, or no? I mean,
I'm
as
just
far
saying
as
from here on out, it's all for
okay, okay,
money.
got it, got
Yeah,
it.
he's not looking to go any higher on the great pound for pound ranking of the all time greats.
Mhm.
So, and that's perfectly fine. He's in his mid 30s and he did it all, right? His name is already solidified. Don't need to go. Don't need no Bernard Hopkins like run.
Sure.
Um, so it's I see him sticking around because he does need the money. And I'm hoping that Benavidez is at the end of this, and maybe that's why he's bringing up the talk of retirement because he knows one defeat and he probably will call it quit because he takes another loss. His market goes really down. The money's not going to be as big. Then Canelo starts going, "Hey, do I really want to do this for 10 million when I was making 30 million?" That's when he might start thinking about health and his daughter and his children and all the other eh, things that
And
comes
then
with.
it also depends how he loses it, right? I mean, if it's some sort of close decision or some shit. I mean,
Yeah,
him getting knocked the fuck out is another story, of course, but we don't anticipate that happening anytime soon. So we can play with
but
the.
even like another Bivol, I think any defeat, he would start doubting himself, his future in the sport.
Hmm, okay.
He's really on the edge as far as being the face in America, right? I think if
Hmm.
Canelo took another defeat, I don't see him being that big over here anymore. What does he have? Like 3 losses and 2 draws?
Oh shit, two draws, really? Shit. I think. Oh
I
yeah, I think he had
I
one way
believe he
early in
has.
the
Yeah, I
year,
believe he has two
and then
draws.
the loss or the draw to Triple
Triple
G, their
G.
first fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think if he needs to stay undefeated. He needs that story, that aura behind him, right? He's the man, he's the king, he's undisputed. That
Yeah,
would
because
have
it's
to
gonna take
keep
a
going.
while to build it. Because like he was getting there, and then he loses to Floyd, right? And then it's like, all right, time to start from scratch. So then he starts from scratch, and he builds up that aura once more, and then we end up getting to Bivol.
Evil.
So he can only do that so many more times before it fucking time runs out. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he loses to Bivol. He's in the process of building that aura back up again to fight maybe, I don't know, Benavidez or who's it, Crawford or Jake Paul or whatever, right? Those, I mean, Jake Paul is obviously an easy win for fucking Canelo, so we can kind of just tally him off the list. Crawford, right? That's kind of a big deal. It's building up the aura again. If he loses any one of those in these fucking four fights, it's gonna be a while for him to build that up again, and he's already at that
Might
age
be
where he wants
done.
to call it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Um, we said Crawford, Jake Paul, and at the very tail end, I guess we said Benavidez, right?
Yeah.
So the winner of Bivol better Biev, or only if it's Bivol, or who would that fourth
I
opponent
don't
be?
think he fights either of those guys. Those guys are too big. Those guys are too big. And Benavidez is big too, but he's not as skilled.
He's
Don't
not as a
hate
heavy
me,
punch.
internet.
He's not as heavy puncher either. Now that I'm
Yeah,
watching.
don't hate. I just don't think Benavidez is as good as Better Beef and Bivol. I'm sorry. Um, he doesn't have the opposition on his resume either. And Andrade and Caleb Plant don't make him Bivol and Better Beef. Um, I would love to see him fight both of those guys. He could prove it. I would love to see both of those fights happen. But on paper, I have both of
Yeah,
them favorites going up against Benavidez.
because he still needs those kinds of opponents. He
Oh, he
still needs that, you
definitely,
know. He still needs it.
definitely.
And again, we talked about it. He's kind of in between a rock and a hard place because he can't get those kind of opponents. But I think he understands. Fuck, I still need these kind of opponents because at light heavyweight he's fought twice and he's gone to decision twice. You know, it's like it's not looking that good for him. So he's gonna need to beat, even if it's the decision, he still needs to beat one of these guys. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, so you don't think Canelo will fight any one of those guys? They're just too big. Like
Not Better Beef and Bevo. I think he's done with those with that.
all right.
I mean, those
So
guys are 6 foot, freaking
yeah,
yeah, they're
the
big
monsters,
guys.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not so much. I think that's why, and my dad has talked about it a few times. That's why Canelo wants the rematch with Bivol is because I think he tasted his power and he's like, I can take it. Yeah, he beat me, but I can fucking take it. So he's a pretty stubborn dude. I don't know if
He
he'll be
is
in his best.
stubborn.
Yeah, I
My
don't think
thing
he'll be in his
about
best
that
fit to
Bivol
begin.
fight was Canelo wasn't feeling, and we never got down to the fucking diet.
Oh yeah,
But
no, we didn't.
Canelo was not moving Bivol at all.
No.
It was a little man versus a big man, and that's exactly what it looked like. He was just bing, 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 boom, boom, boom. There was no, oh, my arm hurts, oh, my body hurts. Bivol was taking all of his shots with the smile and coming right, and then actually took over at the end. He really did. His boxing. He started landing combinations on Canelo. You know what I mean? Like where Canelo was just on the ropes trying to do all his defense, and it was not working. No, I don't think Canelo should see that one again. Obviously, if they get past Benavidez and Turkey wants it, I don't think there's anything he can say. He's under contract, and the money will probably be 500 million at that point.
Yeah, right.
He'll probably get a very big check to step into the ring with the winner of that whole little triangle that they got going on at the light heavyweights right now.
So in the end, who then? I mean, so we named the three opponents, right? Who'll be the fourth? Fourth.
boxing always changes, but off top right now, it could be the guy that he's fighting in May. That could be number one. So we only need three opponents.
Well, it is then. Well, that is
Yeah.
because that's going to be in Saudi Arabia. I guess that will be the first one, huh? Shit. Well, damn, I should have thought about that before I fucking asked the question. Well, there's one. Yeah, so I guess. I mean.
And then that's what I mean. It could be another one of those guys. So we really can't like tell you who it's truly going to be. No one ever thought he was going to fight this guy. Scully? What is that dude's name?
Skull. Yeah, Skull. William Skull, I think.
Yeah, no one knew what the fuck. Where did he come from? So could be Billy. And Billy might get the shot. You know what I mean?
It's a possibility, right? I
mean,
oh man. What would that do for Canelo?
William Skull and
and fucking Christian and Billy over here. It's like those are gonna be like the fucking taxi cab drivers on fucking Chavez's record at this point. It's like let me go back to Mexico City and put on the fight with this Billy dude and just fucking knock him the fuck out so I can get out of here already to the after party. Wow, yeah, that's very true. Because that first one is going to be in Saudi Arabia already, which is about a month away now at this point.
Yeah.
So all right, so he goes to those 4 fights, and you don't think he retires? You think like fuck, if he goes all those undefeated, he's probably going to do another year, so another 2 fights perhaps.
I would look. Hopefully, no. I think he goes to 1 fight deals after that, because Turkey at that point is going to have to look for his replacement. He can't ride Canelo all the way out, right? So if Turkey's old school, he's going to have to overpay the veteran to get him in the ring with maybe a Benavidez. If Benavidez is still undefeated at this time and winning, and go, hey, Benavidez, I just gave him $20 million. I'm hoping you can really win this fight because we hell overpaid this old dude, and he's only on a 1-fight deal, So I do think that all parties would know that it's 1 fight after this 4-fight one is up.
All right. Well, we mentioned kind of sort of half-assedly one of his possible opponents, not really, but kind of in one, Jake Paul, because his name did come up, and the negotiations, the supposed negotiations, I guess maybe they did happen to some degree. Something was signed, some potential with Canelo that didn't actually happen, but recently Jake Paul has come out and said that he even tried to get a fight with one Gervonta Tank Davis. I have to assume it was some sort of exhibition type shit, all right, obviously, because I don't know how the hell else a fight like that would happen. But apparently there was actually like a legitimate chance of this fight actually taking place. I pulled up a couple of other ones here, a couple of articles. Let me read this real quick. Jake Paul was once again the center of boxing conversation, but this time not because of his next opponent, but because of one of who almost was. The influencer and American boxer, I don't call him boxer, more an influencer boxer, revealed that he was about to face Gervonta Davis in a fight that he says was practically closed. Of course, like that.
I know, right?
However, the plans fell through in the unexpected draw between Davis and Lamont Roach. So I don't know. He says, quote him, is like, yes, there was a lot of talk and we were in negotiations and it almost was ready to happen. But now it has to do with the rematch with Lamont to get that win, and then we can pick it up.
Can you imagine being in a room with Jake Paul? There's a bunch of girls in there and he's trying to impress. The things that come out of this man's mouth. Wanted to fight Canelo, fucking scared. Wanted to fight Davis, scared. Anthony Joshua, scared. Like, bro, can you imagine all the hot air that comes out of this man's mouth? Because nobody else in the room knows of anything, right? They don't know shit about boxing. They just got this guy all over the internet saying, had to fight with him, but didn't go through. Had to fight. Get the fuck out of here. I would have watched the Gervonta one, too. Swear to God, because I would have prayed that Gervonta would knock the living shit out of him. And I would have put money on that he does. I just have that much confidence in boxers.
There is no way that would have. I mean, in the sense that there's no athletic commission that would sanction that shit, it would be a total exhibition. And damn fucking well that Jake Paul's like, look, let me give you a couple of extra.
Gervonta wouldn't do it, bro. You're gonna say fix.
No, dude. Yeah.
You're gonna say 100%. Fix it.
Damn. 100%. There's no if Gervonta says how much, sure, I'll give you a sparring session. I won't fuck you up. Yeah, no problem. I don't.
and lose.
No. He wouldn't lose. I mean, it's an
It'll be
exhibition.
a draw or some
Yeah,
bullshit. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't think he's gonna like toss the or I don't think he'll throw the fight. He's not gonna take a dive or anything like that. But for him to be like, oh really? Yeah, fuck yeah, this is a lot of fucking money, and we're gonna be on Netflix, and however 100 million people watching
You
at
win
once.
4, I win 4, we go home.
Yeah, we clinch or whatever.
All
It's
right.
like we saw, Floyd and fucking Logan. Come on now, maybe it's an exhibition where there's no winner and we're just gonna go 8 fucking rounds or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Come on, I don't see that being any way, shape, or form legitimate because. Like, has he stooped this low, really? Like, Jake, to be like, all right, I'm gonna fight real boxers, but I'm gonna fight a fucking 135 pounder. Like, I don't think he stooped that low. And again, I don't think any athletic commission will even allow it. But now he's saying, yeah, Anthony Joshua in 2026. Now that one is a little bit more realistic because of how big Jake Paul is as far as weight goes. So it's like, all right, heavyweight, cool. Throw him in there with a legitimate heavyweight. Again, going after somebody coming off a fucking bad knockout like Anthony Joshua. Clearly, he thinks he has a chance. That one I might say is probably legitimate. I would say there's no handshake kind of thing behind the scenes. I think if that fight goes down, it's 100% legit. I
Now
think.
we've seen what Joshua did to Ngannou, right? So he's not into exhibition matches that much.
Right.
Definitely not Tyson Fury.
No.
And what a lucky man. If Anthony Joshua seals the Jake Paul payday,
Mhm.
how lucky is Anthony Joshua, man?
Yeah.
A
That's
guy has been
ridiculous.
counted out hella times, just keeps coming back making 50 million. Just keeps coming. Because he would make that. Dude, that
Mhm.
fight would probably be so big in the UK. They'd probably do 80,000 seats. They really
Mhm.
would.
Yeah.
Because
And,
they
and
all
Jake
love.
Paul is willing to go out there. Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Knowing they fill out that arena or stadiums.
And it makes his name more legit, right? I mean, he's halfway in it for legacy. He's halfway in it on a cheap way to legacy, right?
Oh,
He's trying to
Joshua,
do
you're saying Joshua.
no.
Oh, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to become champion, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
he's trying to create a name for him, like he did something in boxing,
Mm.
right? So I see him taking that fight. Um, and yeah, for Anthony Joshua, that would just be a tremendous fucking gift,
Mhm.
just an absolute gift that I would watch. I would definitely watch, in all hopes that he ends that shit the same way he ended Ngannou. That
Mhm.
was picture perfect the way that fight got played out. And Jake Paul deserves that ass whooping.
Oh yeah.
You
It's
keep
overdue.
playing.
It's fucking
You,
overdue.
you keep playing with fire, dude, you're gonna get fucking burned, right? You're playing with some of the most hardest hitting men in the world, right? You're calling out Canelo, you're calling out Davis. Now you want to call it the ex heavyweight champ?
Mhm.
Yeah, you keep playing with fire, bro. Watch it out. Your ass gonna be on a stretcher, literally,
Yeah.
because he ain't Ngannou, bro. Ngannou's all man. Now, Ngannou he took that shot, right? Got up a few minutes later, but got up.
Yeah.
Jake, I don't know if he could take that same punch, bro. They might
No.
be like, nah, we need a stretcher. Bring the
Yeah.
oxygen, get the stretcher, bro. He ain't getting up today. Like, man, that ain't Tommy Fury, bro. Anthony
Right.
Joshua is not Tommy Fury. So I would love that fight. I think he's full of shit. I don't think he'll go that high. I just said
And,
he would, didn't I?
and
I
he
don't know.
well, he would, and he said
Because
2026.
of money. Because of money, right?
Huh. Yeah.
Because of money. Because, fuck. He hasn't even come close to beating someone like Joshua. Not even
No.
close.
No. But he's cherry picking Joshua because he's coming off of that knockout
Yeah.
loss. So
Yeah.
he clearly he thinks he has a legitimate shot at beating him if it's a straight up fight. And he says, um, in 2026, I don't like, and even Eddie Hearn mentioned this. Is like, why not this year, motherfucker? We still got plenty of time this year. Like, why not? Why 2026? As if Jake Paul has some sort of plan or something that is going to have a couple of fights between now and then he'll be ready in 2026. I don't know
Mhm.
how that's going to help either one of them, but maybe by that
Is
Josh was like, ah, fuck this fool.
is the fight with his brother happening or not? Jake Paul
Oh,
and Logan
wow.
Paul, are they fighting or not?
I don't think so. The it was very short. The rumor was very short.
Right? Okay. All
I
right.
mean they're on a fucking reality TV show. I don't know if you know that, but they're on a reality TV
No.
show together. I mean I don't know if it's taped or pre-taped, but yeah, they're not fucking. Yeah, no, I doubt. I highly doubt that they would ever Even if it's an exhibition fight, I doubt they would ever go that far.
Yeah, it seems like the Paul circus is coming to a close. I know they signed Alicia Baumgard. Is that how you
Oh
say
yeah,
her name?
Baumgartner.
Baumgardner. They signed her this weekend. She looked nice. They all looked nice. I don't know what it means for MVP promotions, you know. But yeah, it seems like he. I mean, this guy's been happen. Canelo doesn't happen. Gervonta doesn't happen. Like, who are you going to give us? You've been putting yourself around some big names. You know what I mean? Who is he finally going to? When I seen his brother, I was like, they definitely ran out of options. They're fucking done if they're fighting each other. That is such a money grab type of fight that I think wouldn't be watched by anybody except the Jake Paul and Logan Paul fan. Maybe there's a lot of them, but I don't see anyone else being interested in any type of circus matchup like that. So yeah, I don't know who he's gonna give us, but he's been nailing some big names where he's gonna let a lot of people down if it's fucking Tommy Fury too.
Yeah, and supposedly one of the reasons why he was brought up, even in the boxing news, is because he's going to be announcing real soon his next opponent. Apparently, something is already in the works, and he plans to announce it within the next, I don't know, maybe week or so.
I
So
mean,
chances are we're going to hear.
seriously, even Nate Diaz, the $10 million offer for the cage fight, that was on the table that went away. But another huge name, like it's been huge name after huge name, nothing's developing. What is he? What's his final? What are we finally going to get out of him? You know?
Yeah, and one of the reasons why he was in the news recently is because it was announced that apparently Amanda Serrano, who's going to be under MVP Promotions, is going to be making the most of any female combat
Yeah.
athlete ever. Um, I guess that I mean that's definitely an accomplishment. I guess I should say that, but I don't know how much. I don't remember seeing a number behind it, but are they going to make that back? Like, do they think like at this point, are we going to see? We're going to see the same fight that we saw the first two times, right? She's already lost twice to her. I don't know how this. I don't know what Jake Paul is thinking and saying. All right, cool, fuck yeah, you've already lost twice to this chick, and chances are those fights. We saw the same fight twice. Chances are we're going to see the same fight the third time. Let me go ahead and give you the biggest payday ever. Like I don't, where the logic is there. He's probably gonna find out firsthand what it's like to fucking lose money. I forgot where they're gonna do it, like what a venue. I haven't looked into that yet. But are they
How
gonna
does
make
that
it back in?
make? How does that make Katie Taylor and Eddie Hearn feel when they're in the room sitting together? And she's like, I beat her twice, right? I beat her twice. Yet she's getting paid more than me. The fuck does that work?
It's like Eddie. Do you see how many zeros that's right there? Like, what does that? What does that
How
mean?
does that work, bro? That doesn't even the math ain't math in here. You know what I mean? She has two victories over her. Yet she in the trilogy, she's gonna be the highest paid women's boxer of all time. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, fuckface. He's gonna lose money that night. That night, that
Yeah,
night, he's
like
gonna.
if he set out to be like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna make you the most hate, in combat sports. It even said in the article, even more than Ronda Rousey did in her shit. Ronda got what she got because she filled up that fucking stadium for fuck's sake,
Yeah,
like
yeah, and pay per view, and pay per view.
yeah,
Shit,
and
man.
multiple times. It's not,
Yep.
but like you have yet to do that. You know what I'm saying? But apparently they're out there, and is this maybe some sort of other twisting the knife? It's like, yeah, UFC, and we're gonna get this fucking girl really paid. Like, okay,
Yeah, you're right
great,
though. It all
but
pointless. That's all
yeah, like
pointless.
what is that? All right, fantastic. She's gonna be up there, and she's gonna get paid great. Who's paying for this shit? How is it gonna make? How
Because
is it gonna?
Katie Taylor has to make a pretty dime on her side with Eddie
Sure,
Hearn too.
sure.
She's got big contracts over there in the UK, Ireland, wherever they put her on. Um, yeah, that's a fucking weird one. That's a weird room to be in. How they even got that done? How did Serrano get the A side and she's lost two?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck how tight those fights were. You still lost. Sorry. That you don't get that kind of privilege to be able to say, yeah, I can get paid X amount of dollars, or I get to somehow be the A side to this because we're going to do it in MSG or something. And again, I don't remember where the hell they said they're going to have the fight take place, but regardless, it's like somehow she's now on the the left side of the poster, and Katie's on the right or something. I don't know, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, quite the interesting.
that's the bigger feather in his cap right there. That really is. I mean, yeah, it's not forget, but how did he pull that off is really the bigger feather in his cap for that. That's a real promoter move, man.
Mm.
Took 2 defeats and got paid more.
I know, right? It's like, all right, Amanda, one more time. All right, one more time. By this time, you're gonna get paid this much. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Good lord. So yeah, so hopefully we don't get to see. We don't. I mean, no. We want to see Jake Paul get in there and get fucked up. So maybe this fight with Joshua happens in 2026. We don't know, but it sure as hell isn't happening with one Tank Davis.
Yeah. No, and seriously, like we said, he needs to nail down a name here soon because he's been. It almost seems desperate. Like you're attaching your name to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we're not seeing anything developing. The numbers must not be that great. Because I think Al Heyman would have gave him Gervonta even in the exhibition if they were going to do 50 million. I think Eddie Hearn would give him Anthony Joshua if he knew they were going to do Ngannou type numbers. Like there's something's not um right over at MVP Promotions. I know he talks a big game about how much money they make on their pay-per-views, but for some reason he's not landing a very what is it scumbaggish uh uh it, environment, right? They're all looking for money. Everyone's looking for
Sure.
checks. So you think if you're writing a free fucking $20 million check, anyone would pick that up.
Mm.
So something's not right. It's not hard to write a. What do you think Serrano's making, dude? $1.5 million? Because wasn't $1 million the most a professional women's boxer had ever made?
Um. Oh, I don't know. I remember Christy Martin asking for $1 million. I don't know if she actually made it because she was
Her
with Don King, I
and
think.
her and Lucia, didn't they have the $1 million fight? It was the $1 million
Oh,
purse.
is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I
Because I do remember
believe.
her asking for it. I don't remember if she had got it. Maybe you're right.
I think it was Lucia Riker, and her. They did $1 million purse.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah.
All right. So, eh, that's it's this, but it's like, right?
Yeah. Well, it's more like, all right, great. But how did you do that? Like, how did that come out? Like, how are you planning to? How did that conversation take place in the in the fucking locker room or
Do you
whatever?
think he likes her?
Um.
Hey, I'm
like,
gonna say this because for the first time I seen them two take a picture where it looked like it was more than just a business. And I might be starting rumors here, but Serrano kind of had like she was leaning on him in a different type of way. She's got to be pretty happy with him, right? He's given her a lot of money. He takes care of her. He flies her all around. She sees private jets that she's probably never seen before. Do you think he has the hots for her, and that's why he's doing all? He's actually taking out of his own account, and he's like, I'm not paying. He's like, don't worry, Eddie, I'll fucking do it. Shut the fuck up. I'll pay this shit.
Right, exactly. It's like, what'd you say, a private jet? It's like, hold on, I'm gonna pull up with a jet. I'll take care of it. Trust me. It's like, all right, you fucking foot the bill then, homie. I mean, I don't. Does he have a chick? He doesn't. He married. I know Logan Paul does. He's married, but I don't know about Jake Paul.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have feelings.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's not. Some fucking
They spend a lot of time together.
Work wife or whatever the fuck they call them, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're in the plane flying around a lot together.
Right, exactly. And maybe his chick isn't there, so it's like, oh yeah, sweetie, it was just we're having KFC up in there and the fucking and on the plane, nothing else. We're just talking business.
He moved to Puerto Rico.
I know, right? Yeah, over here, fucking learning how to speak Spanish or something.
Yeah, fucking opens a state art gym for her.
Yeah,
I don't know. All I'm saying, you guys, is there's finally been one photo, and I should have sent to you. I don't know if I did, where it kind of looked like they were more than just business partners. Finally, because I've been thinking it for a while, and finally I got the evidence where I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. You have the hots for the Latina.
Considering, I mean, I could be wrong, but considering Logan Paul, who married a chick who doesn't have a very good reputation, has a horrible reputation. I think might even have a fucking OnlyFans or some shit. I don't even remember at this point. But he married one of those kind of girls. Considering that happened, I would not put it past Jake Paul to get a fucking jet for Amanda Serrano, open up a state of the art training facility in Puerto Rico, doing all this shit. Like, yeah, girl, I'll rent out Madison Square Garden for our fucking wedding, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, makes her the highest paid.
Would do it, if anybody would do it, Jake Paul seems like the kind of guy that would do it. Just saying.
Be interesting. Hopefully he's not in the friend zone after this.
uh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
hold on.
lot of money,
Look,
Jake, to be in the friend zone, bro.
there's a lot of extremely unflattering truths about women. One of them is the more she likes you, the less you have to pay. He's paying a lot,
He's
so I don't
paying a
know.
lot,
I don't know if
yeah.
he's. I don't know if she's. It's gonna be one of those things where like, we can be friends.
Yeah,
You know,
because
that,
she can easily take all these gifts in, right? Knowing damn well she's playing homie, right?
mhm.
As soon as he makes the move, she's gonna go. So it wasn't about my talent. It
Yeah,
was always about that. And he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm fucked. I'm fine." Just walks out of the room.
yeah,
She's got that ace right in her back pocket, bro.
yep,
I've been accepting these gifts because I thought you liked me because of my boxing.
yeah. I thought
You
this was for my legacy, motherfucker.
you mean when I was walking around turning you on, that's what you were
Right.
actually getting turned on?
Oh, jeez. Yes. When I let you sleep on my
I'm a
couch. Uh, Good lord. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past Mr. Jake Paul
right.
for that, but
That's
I'm a
the
bit of a
only
fixed
thing
now.
that makes sense with their his little his little drive to make her what he's made her, right? Just seems
Yeah.
like there's something else there. And I'm like I said, I finally
Yeah.
got the body language where I was like, wait a minute. There's been
Yeah.
some dinners between you two.
Yes. That just them two.
Yeah.
Just them two. And like, oh yeah, we're just friends. We're just professional friends. Then he makes the move. It's like, what the fuck? It's like,
Yeah.
"Shh, you keep your end of the bargain, goddammit.
I
I
bought
got
you a
you.
fucking
Yeah.
plane.
Right. I got you a fucking gym in your country, goddammit. After all I've done for you, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Good lord. Yeah, man.
Sorry, Jake. Hope it's not true and it didn't ruin
Right.
your
We're going
present.
down this rabbit hole because you're making it look like it. All right. One of the last stories on the show here before we call it a night. Um, Mr. Andrew Labouche says this is nothing to worry about because
Uh
he's
oh.
like, fuck this. But apparently, TKO
Oh.
and Dana White are making an attempt to somehow change the Muhammad Ali Act. Uh, I read a couple of articles. It seems as though they're trying to do that specifically for their own promotion, TKO, maybe not boxing as a whole. This is how they're trying to get around some stuff. Um, of course, they're going to sugarcoat it, right? They're not going to say flat out what the fuck their intentions are. I mean, they will, but sugarcoating again. This is according to what TKO is saying. TKO is having preliminary conversations with members of Congress about how we can work together to expand the Ali Act to create more choices and opportunities for boxers. Okay. The spokesperson added, oh, by the way, this is a UFC spokesperson, if I'm not mistaken. He continues, we believe the enhancements we are discussing could help to inspire a boxing revival in America, provide American boxers with access to greater opportunities and better protections to lead to more boxing events across our country. So that's what they're trying to do, at least according to them. But let me go ahead and read what the article says from the writer. TKO Group and Dana White announced their entry into boxing earlier last month, partnering with Turkey Al Sheikh to launch a new promotion and boxing league. Um, in one of their first moves, the group, who also owns WWE and UFC, are seeking changes to the Muhammad Ali Act Reform Act. The act was designed to protect boxers from exploitative contracts, increase transparency between fighters and promotions, and prevent conflicts of interest by mandating fighters have different managers and promoters. Of course, no conflict of interest there. It also gave the state athletic commissions additional powers to oversee the sport. When it was first announced that they were going to try to make some sort of change, the first thing that came to mind is, oh shit, they're going to try to get it changes so they can fight or pay their fighters substantially less than what boxers are making. Apparently, talks with Congress are on the way to try to do that, but not exactly that. They're saying, oh, it's going to create more opportunities for boxers, yada yada, right? Trying to butter it up a little bit. But we can see through that. We can read through we can read between the lines. Chances are that is not what they're trying to do. But clearly, they're already in talks with Congress to try to get this some sort of thing done. Andrew, you told me right off the bat, he's nobody. Dana, I'm saying, in the boxing world. No one's gonna listen to this son of a bitch. Quite frankly, he has no power over here. It's just all talk. Maybe a lot of splash. A lot of bark, no real bite. What do you think of this?
They're not hiding anything from us. We already know Dana White. We already know the UFC. They're loved by the fans. They're mostly hated by the fighters because of the way they're treated, the way they're paid. Um, it's it's not a secret. We don't. It's not like, oh, we don't know what to expect from Dana when he gets in the boxing. Yeah, he does. He just told us his pay scale,
Yeah,
and champions are only going to make 750,000. Now I don't know about signing bonuses and all that shit that they're going to do behind closed doors, because there's going to have to be something.
there will be,
What?
but even then, it's not that much more.
All right, okay, but there has to be something, because
Okay.
it's a no go. Right now, he's in a no go in our sport. That's what the media, they love this guy, right? They post his shit. They run him like he's God, everything that he says for combat sports. But amongst the trainers, the managers, the fighters, doesn't seem like they have the same feelings towards Dana or the UFC.
Hmm.
That carried over to boxing. And I just think they're in an uphill battle. I'm really not afraid of
Oh, it
this man
is.
anymore.
It
Yeah,
is.
I'm really, when they drop that pay scale, I'm really not afraid of these
And
guys.
the what is it? The 10 million budget a year, right? That they're gonna
Yeah,
get.
yes, we've seen that small budget before. It gets us nothing. You know what I'm saying? It got Showtime nothing. I think they had like 14 or 17 million they used to give their
Damn,
boxing
really?
program.
No
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that small.
Oh yeah, no, and HBO's wasn't that much either. I forget the number, but it wasn't that much for their big fights. Remember, that's why things went to pay-per-view,
Hmm.
right? That's where they would try to make the big money for the guys, was in pay-per-view. But these little championship boxing matches, they didn't make fucking 10 million, $7 million on those nights. Those are
Right.
just being shown on HBO. So I'm not fearing TKO anymore. Like I've said for the last 2 weeks, I don't even know how these guys are going to get this shit off the ground. I really don't. You are talking about the tough man level of boxer is going to go over there, or ex MMA. And if they do the ex MMA guys, if Dana goes, hey, we need some help, we need some names to pull in some viewership, and they start pulling MMA guys, cool, that's great. Those aren't boxers, dude, and boxers have been fucking kicking their ass in the ring. So I'm not scared of any MMA guy thinking he's gonna come over to TKO and do anything with our rookies. They can't beat Jake fucking Paul, and he's not even a prospect. The guy's not even a fucking prospect, and they can't beat him, Miguel. I'm not fearing anyone over there. I'm not fearing his budget. I'm not fearing his game plan. So no, I
So,
think
but
that
not
thing's
not even this. Not even trying to talk to Congress to try to.
no. That I'm scared of.
Okay.
That I'm scared of, because we see him rubbing shoulders with the president so
Sure.
much. Come on, last week, him, Bill Maher, Kid Rock, and was it just them three and the president? We're all eating dinner together in the White House,
Well,
right?
last night, he was there
Yeah,
actually.
he's at the
Uh,
fights. Yeah.
but yeah.
Robert Kennedy was at the fight. Seen Robert Kennedy Jr. there too.
Hmm.
So they're definitely rubbing shoulders. Trump is a fucking boxing guy, though. He has a boxing background. He has a lot of personal friends from the old boxing. I don't know how many are still alive, but Trump has rubbed shoulders with a lot of the older generation boxers.
Hmm.
He might be for the Ali Act, right? He
True.
might be like,
True.
wait a minute, I know what you guys are trying to do, right? So let's hope. This is a big moment for me and Donald. Fuck all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fuck all those damn slurs that you just please, please.
Yeah, I don't care about tariffs. It's all about the Ali Act.
Right. Exactly. Charge
So
China whatever the fuck you want to charge Canada, whatever.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's that scares me, because I know they're rubbing shoulders with the right people right now to get things done. If they really, if if Trump and them weren't as educated as they are in boxing, I mean Trump by himself, not anyone else. But Trump is sort of educated. He's ran the sport. He Trump Plaza. You know the story about the Trump and the
Or
um
alcohol.
yeah, the Las Vegas wanting him out.
No, no, no. All I know is he had, and this is the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. He had some nearby casino. So when they hosted WrestleMania there in the late '80s, they basically had to put a big ass banner as a Trump Plaza when it was just the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. But I don't know the rest of it. It was they wanted him out of Vegas.
Yeah, well, Trump was trying to take boxing from Vegas. Started bringing a lot of the fights over to Atlantic City, right? Trump
Oh,
Plaza
I
was
see.
carrying a lot of heavyweight fights. They did Foreman's,
Sure.
they did Tyson's,
They did
Holmes.
Tyson's, yeah.
So Vegas, and we got to remember, at this time, a lot more families are involved, right? It's not all, and I'm talking about in the casino worlds. You got the
Oh, I see.
families out in New York
Yeah.
that are taken care of over here, and you got the families out in Vegas that are taken care of down there, right? So Trump wins. I want to say it was Hector Camacho versus Vinny
Pazienza.
Pazienza.
Okay.
Yes, big East Coast fight, right? It's Puerto Rican and Italian. Big
Sure.
fight. They were going to and that was a big fight, lightweight fight that Vegas wanted too. They were going to the press conference and a helicopter goes down and kills everyone.
Oh shit.
You never heard about this?
No.
So Trump's matchmaker, his president of boxing for the casino, and some other. There was three men that were with Trump. Is boxing side. They all died in this
Mm.
plane. The plane was made in Italy. This says it in the New York Times. You guys can look this up. It's a New York Times paper. Trump's boxing thing fucking goes haywire because he Trump's out. When his guys die, he pulls out of boxing, bro.
Mm.
It's fucking. I'm telling you, it's like a movie. When you read this shit, it really feels like a movie to me because you fast forward like 25 years later, the man becomes the president, and the first thing he does is legalize sports gambling, like literally cripples Las Vegas. Vegas is hurting right now,
Yeah.
and that's what Trump created when he
Mm.
did that. When he took that sports book from them, oh, that fucked them up. It
Mm.
really did. Is now Atlantic City has a sports book. Fucking, you could do sports books on your phone. You don't even need to go to Vegas anymore.
All right.
So he got him back. He really did. He came back with vengeance. Sort of what he's doing right now with the guys that raided his house, right? The feds and all that.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, he came back. And all y'all motherfuckers are fired. Everyone's getting fired. Matter of fact, we're gonna dismantle. Robert,
Yeah.
dismantle the whole thing.
Yeah. Elon, go get in there. Get everybody outside of.
So this is a guy that will come back and get you. What do you say? The legal way. He doesn't go for the bet. He doesn't. So, anyways, that happened in. So he knows boxing, dude. He knows boxing. He's been in it all the way through. And
So
I got a
he'd be
whole.
in favor of keeping all the acts
Yes.
intact. Okay.
Yes, because it protects the fighters. And if he was
Yeah.
one that was looking to protect the fighters, which he kind of always says that's what he does, right? He looks out for the working man. Or I know people don't believe him, but let's just let him do
So
his thing
politicians
right
say,
now.
right?
Yeah, let him do his thing. Hey, Miguel, if I get that no taxes on overtime, we're good. We're solid, bro. We're solid next 4 years, hey? We're solid. I'm sorry.
Isn't he trying to change that too? Like you do more than 2 terms. He's like, yeah, let's just do it. The
Oh,
fucking.
I know. No, I don't want any of that talk.
But
You
what
know
if
what I hate about
if
that? You know what I hate about? I know. I'm sorry, people are gonna get political just for 2
just
seconds.
For a second, yes.
He has fucking hella people behind him. He doesn't need a third term. The fucking vice president is young as shit. If that guy gets hot, he could walk in right after him. Then he's got his daughter and he's got 2 sons, possibly 3. The Baron, that guy's been turning heads here lately as he's getting older. Like, Donald, don't fuck up the momentum you've created. You know what I mean? We're giving us this bullshit now. You want 3 terms. I hope he's not talking 3 terms. I hope he's not talking about killing the Ollie actor. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. Everything else he could do whatever he wants. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Yeah. Just all right. No taxes on my overtime. You can do whatever the fuck you want with boxing.
Oh, bro, that was so huge. The no tax on security, Social Security. You know how many old people you would help out with that, bro?
Yeah.
Oh man. So I need to. If that happens, we're thumbs up and kill the Ollie Act and or kill the talk about expanding the Ollie Act or doing whatever the fuck they're trying to do. And yeah, let's move forward. But no, but yeah, Donald's great story. Got to look that up. Look up the Pazienza Camacho press conference. It was in Atlantic City. A helicopter goes down. Witnesses said it's the same thing that just happened in the. Is it the Hudson River?
Yeah, something like that. The chopper that went down. Yeah, I don't remember where it's at. Yeah.
That's the same incident where the whole blade came right off of the plane.
Oh,
And what they said, what witnesses said they heard was 5 bolts. Bing, bing, bing. They were just popping. The
oh
bolts are just
shit.
popping off. That's what it says in the newspaper. That's what they heard, and that's what someone heard with this other chopper. They said they sounded like gunshots. So it has to be some kind of bolts that are like popping. I don't know, man. But that's what their witnesses are saying. That's why I found it hella weird that that's what in 1980 whatever in the
Yeah,
New York
I think
Times.
87. I think it was.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same description of how that helicopter went down was loud. You can hear loud bing, 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 like bolts are just popping off of the thing. But yeah, in parentheses it said made in Italy.
Damn.
Fucked with the
Uh,
mob.
yeah, that's what happens, I suppose, right? Well, he found out. He fucked around and found out, right? But let's hope this doesn't progress any further, other than just like, yeah, you do your thing, leave the LA act alone, please, because. And again, it seems, according to this article, that they're doing that specifically for their own promotion, not for boxing as a whole. But who the hell knows if they'll be even successful at that? Hopefully not. All right. Well, that closes our show for this Sunday night. We got some fights coming up and a few, nothing really major this weekend. I think Gabriela, I'm looking at my calendar here. Gabriela Fundora, I think, is going to be on DAZN later this Saturday. But next week, the weekend of the 26th, which we will talk about, of course, Connor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr., they're going to go at it on the
Nice,
26th. So we still
nice.
got that in a couple of weeks, and we'll make sure to talk about that. But in the meantime, be nice to everyone, y'all. Be nice to yourselves. Be healthy. Stay healthy. We will see you guys next week. Enjoy your work week, and we will see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.